Bingo, bango, bungle. There it is. Welcome back to the Countercast. How are all you vital idols doing? What a day, bro. We got a smorgasbord of things to talk about. I mean, we got Demon Slayer, we got Resident Evil 9, we got the EA buyout, JK. There ain't no way we get to every topic today, guys. Mr. Beast shenanigans. There ain't no way we get to every topic. Maybe even some Magic the Gathering, depending on who else shows up. Like, it's going to be a wild one. Before we get into any of this, before we get into anything, before I even introduce my panelists here, because fuck them, they're less important than this. Mad shout out to Angmar WK over on Steam, gifted me a game, Aeon Drive, some Cyberpunk 4-player co-op sprint dash game. Mad shout out, thank you so much, truly appreciated. And mad shout out to Hypno and the Bigot Army for the raid. Right up, like just straight up in the intro, Raiden. You love to see it. Base Hypno, base Bigot Army. So with all that being said, thank you everyone. I truly appreciate all of you. Could not do this without you. Done gushing. Let's get into some intros. Cinevere, my lovely co-host, partner behind the scenes. Tell people who you are, what you do, how you doing.
Hey guys, I'm Cinevere. I'm not muted today.
Good job, girly. Good job. How you feeling?
My hiccups are gone. Thank goodness.
Fucking finally, dude. That backstage shit that was getting rough.
I know.
Blue, what about you? Tell me who you are, what you do, the whole nine.
Leon, so streaming Last of Us 2 Remastered, just because I rented on GameFly, as I keep promoting it, but like, man, it just pisses you off that much more.
So yeah, I guess it was that time Blue on the show.
But it sucks seeing Joel die again on PS5 graphics. You're like, this game had potential to be legendary, and from a technical
standpoint, to watch him die in 4K.
Yeah, man, it's just like
spoilers.
It's just it's such a waste because the controls and graphics are way better than the first one, and the mocap is good too. But what a shit story, man.
Sammy, save us from this. So what do you got going on? Tell me something better than fucking Last of Us Part 2. You'd be like, I ate camel ass. And I'd be like, yeah,
I didn't pay for it.
It's funny you should say that. I started watching the Terminal List, so I can get caught up with everybody else. It's been very good so far. But I also fell asleep. Like the remote fell asleep, or the remote fell under the bed, and I was too lazy to get it. So last night, since it is a political military thriller, I would just like fall asleep and wake up to like rapid gunfire and be like, but I'm too lazy to go get my remote, so I just kind of like
non-flashbacks. You've never even been to fucking non-like.
Pretty much, but my wife's going like, just get the remote, and I was like, no, this is better.
I would have kicked the crap out of you. Just been like, get the damn remote.
Gotten the remote.
All right, gang, we gotta say hey to some vital idols. Let's say hey to everybody in the house, and there's a lot of you, because again, shout out to the Hypno Raid. Thank you so much. We got Peepers, the Titty Kitty is here. Emily's dismantling the Lulu's, watching from Croatia at 1 a.m. What a fucking trooper. Thank you so much, Curly. Truly appreciate it. Saint Hugo is in the house. You love to see it. What is up, my man? We got Dex, our best mod in the whole damn land. You love to see it. Paul Byersmith, the IRL bestie. Schizosaurus is here. Gravestone is in the house. What is up, Gravestone? Subhuman. Yes, we were about 60 seconds late and gay. Celebrity Game. Little Miss Anonymous saying me, yody, y'all. Kalika Gamer is in the house. How you doing, Kalika? Truly appreciate you showing up. We got Crovax. What is up, Crovax? Thank you for showing up. Who else? I know there's more. EB, yo. The Stream Elements bot that I need to figure out why that's a thing. I still have yet to look into that, but I'm sure I'll get that shit figured out at some point or another. CFH90, the OG cowboy from hell. What is up, my man, with a plan? Old man Cad. It's nice to see you, Cad. You been dropping some mad links in the Discord, homie. Marty Tiberius O'Donnell, aka Adam Rabil. What is up, Adam? I know there's more. Golden Apples. Enzo is in the house. What is up, Enzo? Dormant Psych. Nick Havoc. Ravnad Scubla. Jamma. Motherfucking Llama. Tiger King is here. Lord Dragneel says hashtag Bigot Army. Ray, what is up? Again, Angmar WK, mad shout out. Thank you so much for the gifted game, dude. You didn't need to, you did. Truly means the world to me. Sammy be in here talking to you guys in the chat as well. Thank you so much. Butter framed in gold. That's honestly, someone who's on the carnivore diet. I dig it. I like it. Black Tailgate, Barry Stroud. Hey, we got Hypno. Hola. Twisted Jack is here. What up, Twisted Jack? Is that everybody? Yeah, I think that might be. I'm just gonna nope. Serrano's A. Serrano's an A. Tesh Hayai. Hayai. I'm gonna go Hayai. It sounds like something Jackie Chan would say. Melissa Lord is here. What is up, Melissa? Radio Chimp. I love that name, man. Dark Exile is in the house, and that is everyone. Crew. Before we get into the degradation that is the internet, I want to grip a little. So y'all know, same thing we do every time. If we hit that goal, if we hit that tier goal, if we hit 250 in total donos, memberships, whatever it may be, watch party in the Discord of a film of someone's choosing. We'll spin a wheel of torture, just like we do for all these streams when we hit certain numbers. So yeah, you guys know what to do. Last week y'all put me through Dragon Ball fucking Evolution, so that was awesome.
Hey, wait a minute. The best thing to come of that was the insults the entire time.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's literally gonna. It was recorded. Enzo's the man with the plan. That will eventually go up on the channel. It truly was a painful experience. So that being said, thank you all so much. What up, Kilted? How you doing? Alrighty, now that we got some grifting out the way, before we get into the degradation that is the internet, I want to hear what y'all are feeling good about. What you feeling happy about? What you feeling positive about? Sammy, start with you. Just in life, in pop culture in general, just something you're feeling good about, my friend.
I finally made it to the Wano arc in One Piece. So
nice. That means you're almost caught up. You've only got like 200 episodes or so before you get caught up.
Which is dropping the bucket when you're when you look at everything. So yeah.
No, the Wano arc is great though, dude. The Wano arc is fucking fantastic. It's one of my favorite arcs.
It's been pretty awesome so far.
Wait, is it actually named Guano?
No, Wano.
Wano. Wano. There's like 60 episodes in a row of flashbacks, but it's all like it's not flashbacks of shit you've seen before. It's like takes place years upon years in the past. It's all new stories. It's so good, dude. Like you get to the point where like, oh right, I forget that Luffy's even in the show because it's focusing on like old school samurai pirates that you've never seen. It's fucking great. I'm not gonna give spoilers, but when you get to like the 60 episodes of flashbacks or whatever, it's good. It's great shit. Blue, what about you? What you feeling good about, my man?
Dude, I drink half this with you. We got the first ever watch party with you in Discord and Dragon Ball Evolution. I forgot how fucking terrible that film is. But when you're drunk as hell with a bunch of friends, such a great time, man. So that's
it's for sure a party film. It is for sure a party.
I can't wait till we see the final product once it's edited. Yeah.
Happy birthday, either belated or early, something like that. TBV
Fangirl
PVFS. God damn, that was difficult. Save me, Cindy. What are you feeling positive about?
I am feeling positive about the fact that Demon Slayer just beat the brakes off Superman.
Don't jump the gun on me, bitch. That all you feel positive about? Come on now.
Anime
is superior. Banzai.
It is.
Well, as for me, I'm feeling positive. Ironically, I'm wearing a Mario Kart shirt, but what I'm positive about is how fucking fantastic Sonic Racing Cross Worlds is. Oh my god!
Yes. Can I change my answer? I want to copy your homework.
Copy my homework. Just changed it a little bit. That way we can't tell. Dude, I purchased it at 9 a.m. yesterday morning. I think in the last 36 hours, I've sunk probably 18 hours into it. Like, I played it almost all day yesterday until I fell asleep. I fell asleep in the middle of the day. Completely missed Ron's fucking stream, which I feel like an asshole for since I'd be there. I'd really apologize, Ron. I'm genuinely sorry. I feel so fucking bad about that. I woke up 2 minutes before Niat's stream. Did that, and then rushed out a video, which is doing very well. Thank you all for watching it. If you haven't seen it yet, today's video, watch that. Then me and you played it again all night.
Oh my god,
Cindy. And then you went to bed, and I kept playing until at 2 in the afternoon today. I have got like, I'm almost at like 50% completion as far as the trophies go, and I've had the game for like 36 hours. I'm addicted, and it needs to stop. Sonic Racing Cross Worlds is fucking amazing. So yeah, just so y'all are aware of how my life is going. Also, shout out Butterframe to Gold with a 2-banger, says, take my money. Well, dude, I will, and I will do it with much appreciation. Thank you so much. This is for you.
I'd fuck one of the robot dogs.
All right, Butterframe to Gold, my man with the plan. All right, guys, let's get into some content. let's get into some content. Let's talk about as Cindy before she so shamelessly copied my homework. Let's talk about some anime. Let's talk about Demon Slayer.
Ew.
Infinity Castle has now surpassed Superman at the box office. First of all, before we get into what this could mean for anime, did anybody see this coming? Did anyone think this would happen?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
I did too.
I would say the main reason why, Leon, because even before Superman came out, Demon Slayer before it hit American shores, the word of mouth, which is what used to sell tickets, the word of mouth was like 99.9% positive. In this day and age, no one's ever going to 100% like a film. Versus Superman, from the day the first trailer came out, half the goddamn internet hated it.
And so, Superman was divisive from the moment that it was announced that James Gunn was going to be doing the DC. But that being said, I mean, Demon Slayer, look, we've seen anime movies do incredibly well throughout American cinema. You know, Pokemon, the first movie, did $30 million. That doesn't sound like a lot, but we got to remember this is 1998, and it was made on a $5 million budget. So that's, you know, when you adjust for inflation, it did incredible. Dragon Ball Super Broly did like 130 million or something. Like these movies, anime movies do well, but to go over the $500 million mark, well over the $500 million mark, and surpass our American icon of altruism, the Jesus Christ of pop culture.
Right.
I'm still surprised. I am.
I just think it was perfect timing. There has been, you know, whether they call it superhero fatigue or whatever, we haven't been getting the quality superhero films that we have been getting. Anime has been on the rise, and this is one of the top IPs on the planet right now. And one thing that anime hasn't done yet, really on a mass scale, is like disappoint its fans for like ideological reasons and everything. And eventually, you know, people get wise to it. And I mean, and let's face it, the Hashira training arc ended on like such a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's why I haven't seen the movie yet, because I haven't seen anything past the Entertainment District art, which I love. I love the Entertainment District art, but I've not seen anything past that. So like, I have vague ideas of what's going on because I know some manga spoilers and whatnot. But beyond that, so am I the only one on the panel that hasn't seen this film?
Yeah, I mean, me and Cindy did a stream with Nadia about it, so.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Nadia's seen it multiple times. I know you've seen
it.
I've
seen it twice.
Leon, I'll never be able to tell you enough that you need to experience it in theaters while it is still there.
I think you do, dude.
I've been considering going. I'm incredibly busy with all the streams and videos, and I'm not caught up on the anime. So I was like,
you can get caught up in like a day and a half, bro.
Yeah, I mean, like even then, if you find like a person who's covering a synopsis of the story, I think that is sufficient. But since you've seen up to the training arc, you know what's going on. You could still benefit from seeing this.
Yeah. The only thing I would advise, Leon, again, because you are an anime fan, even if you aren't the biggest Demon Slayer fan, but the animation alone, that is theater worthy.
Yeah, no, it really is top notch.
That's what I've heard. Sorry, go on, Sam. My bad.
No, I was just getting back to my original point. I just think it was this perfect storm of timing where, you know, just like what Blue said, where, you know, from the get, as soon as they announced this Superman film, 50% of the people were already out.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I just feel like normies they're just so sick of hearing people like me arguing on the internet about it that, you know, they might have checked out. There's certain looks to this film, and James Gunn's already divisive. Meanwhile, you have this franchise that has yet to disappoint, that ended on a huge cliffhanger, that set it up for this, you know, big you know, like meeting right here. It was just perfect timing, and also perfect marketing. I mean, anytime I saw something for this, it looks cool. It's not like
I agree. The marketing for this was, first of all, it was simple, which I appreciate. It was very simple marketing. Yeah. And frankly, so my boy Mike Hollow, and you know, Mike is a pretty divisive individual around these parts. Some people love him, some people hate him. I love him. You know, I adore Mike. I haven't, again, without seeing the film, his take was what I expected, like what I imagined the film would be. He said his initial thoughts were he wasn't going to recommend, he couldn't recommend it for the theaters because it does just feel like 3 episodes put together, which is what a lot of anime movies are. But then he clarifies, like, however, the sound design alone changes that. The sound design is so good that that's what makes it a worthwhile theater experience. And I'm an audiophile. Like, sound design in a film is huge for me. It can make or break films. Like one of the main reasons that Nosferatu. Now, there's a few reasons I didn't really care for Nosferatu, but one of the main reasons I didn't like Nosferatu was the sound design in that film was shit.
I
It
agree,
was
Chad,
garbage. Yeah, I agree.
And again, as somebody, because I first watched in RPX, and we do have IMAX in my areas, I want to compare the two. And I said, even after my first show in RPX, I'm like, the Demon Slayer soundtrack should win awards. It's that fucking good.
Well,
Yeah.
I want to talk about the potential ramifications of this, though. So I found this article.
Yeah.
And I was going to do a video on this article, and I thought, you know what? I would actually rather discuss it in a group setting. So we're going to go over it a little bit by bit. It's RIP, anime as you know it is dead. Now, before we even get into the article proper, do you agree with this sentence off the top, or do you agree with this thesis off the top?
I think it's like what we discussed last time. It was what we were worried about.
Yeah, we're pretty much doing a follow-up on that, actually. Yeah. We did discuss this last week or the week before. But now I think it's interesting that, like, mainstream nerd journalists, are covering it. This is Screen Rant, so of course, they're shills. But so yeah, the thesis is anime as you know it is dead. So
I can argue this from going off of it. Yes, anime as we know it is dead is because, like, right now it's king. It's the hottest thing. All the kids are into it.
That's what this article is. You nailed it. That's what this article is about. Anime as we know it, old school fans, is dead. There is a shift and change to the medium that it will never go back. Now, whether
no one's calling you a loser for liking anime anymore.
Right, exactly. So yeah, just like how when Iron Man came out, the girls that were cheerleaders in high school that made fun of you, they didn't say shit about you liking comic book movies after Iron Man came out. Like, that's the stage we're in. And so whether that's good or bad is what we're going to debate here. So we're going to read through some of this, and let me stop me at any point if you want to have a discussion on it. It's no secret that anime has exploded in popularity over the last 5 or so years. While the biggest streaming services wrestle with one another to bring new exclusive titles to their platforms, anime movies like the recent Demon Slayer Infinity Castle are competing with and overtaking major Hollywood productions at the global box office. Yeah. The current landscape of anime and the culture surrounding it is almost certainly a little disorienting to any veteran fan. The anime culture of old is dead and buried, and there are longtime fans having trouble adapting to all the change. Off the top, I agree with everything up to this point. I am one of these old school fans, admittedly having trouble adapting to the change. Just watch the video I did earlier today for an example of that. So any point of disagreement or just discussion in general about these first few points?
I was talking with Vagabond about this, and there's certain things that I notice, and I've had, I've been on certain panels going over certain animes or just discussions like this because it is mainstream. There's people who don't really, and it takes a second, right? Like to understand like the fan service and certain things that you understand that are like anime tropes. I mean, I remember reaching out to both of you last week going like, hey, what's this trope called? Because I'm trying to do something with it. There's a lot of people who well, I really like the show, but I don't like it when they do that. I don't like it. And it's like, well, then you haven't watched enough anime because like that's something that's very much a part of the culture. Like that is something that is annoying me where I'm talking to people who are either like completely green on the subject or they only watch these 1 or 2 shows where they're like, well, I hate it whenever this one guy sees a pretty girl and blood spurts out of his nose. And I was like, okay, that's going to be like in almost every anime you watch, things like that where it's or it gets really serious, but it gets too cartoony. And I was like, yeah, but that's part of it. Like I mean, there's very serious ones, but if you're talking about you don't like these certain things, you can't say that you're like a fan of these things, but you want to change these things about it. I don't know if I'm coming across. I don't know if I'm saying
no. I get what, or at least I think I get what you're saying. Let's use the MCU comparison. It's it's fine when all these normies liked Iron Man and Captain America and the Avengers and whatnot, but I would have trouble calling them Marvel fans. Maybe they're MCU fans, but they aren't Marvel fans. They didn't pick up the comic books. They didn't play the old school games. Like there is a bridge, or there's a gap that needs bridged if you want to, in my opinion, call yourself a fan. Maybe that makes me an elitist, and if so, I don't fucking care. I'll happily be an elitist, but I think that there is a gap that needs bridged.
No, that's exactly what I'm getting at. It was like, I don't like being corrected when I make a statement about a character and they're like, well, no, in the MCU, it was like, that's the MCU. It was like, I'm talking about the 60 plus years of continuity that is still continuing. You have no idea what you're talking about. Okay. We get it. Everybody saw those movies.
So it goes on to say, anime has changed and not everyone is on board.
Of course,
because the world came to a standstill and people from all walks of life were stuck indoors only a few short years ago, it became popular, if not necessary, to explore new hobbies and interests. Many stumbled upon anime for the first time. As of 2025, I'll hit that super in a bit, Amart, thank you. As of 2025, the anime industry has experienced record highs in revenue in each passing year since the start of the decade, and quite a few fans aren't happy about it. The glory days, as experienced fans might remember them, filled with online camaraderie and partaking in otaku culture, began to fade. In its place, arguments appeared about which Shonen Jump adaptation for the last 3 to 5 years was actually the greatest anime of all time. Others began to debate which classic shows were outdated and problematic. The landscape of anime fandom transformed quickly, and though many might be unhappy, change is natural. Here's where I start disagreeing with the article. Go for it.
Is what they're saying, like right here, that it's outdated, is basically their view only? Because we think it's fine. They just have weird prudish values.
They're taking a third-party look, saying there are new people in the anime community that are now having these arguments with old heads or even with each other. And then they finish out by saying change is natural, which change is natural, but that doesn't mean it's for the better or worse. And I feel like this is teetering on the edge of trying to justify changes that, in my opinion, are for the worse.
Remember, Leon, that stream we did on your Friday night with those assholes on TikTok, or the YouTubers making their anime rankings and stuff that are terrible? It's generational. When they say, okay, anime has changed. Yes, it's changed. Guess what? It's 2025, guys. It's not 1985 anymore. Yes, things have changed, because if you read comics in the 90s, you would have been having debates at a comic book shop against guys who were reading comics in the 60s. It's different generations, just like music, just like movies. So yes, anime has changed, but like there's teenagers now, more teenagers watching anime than were back in the 80s and 90s and 2000s.
I think there's a distinct difference, and maybe I'm wrong, but I do think there's a distinct difference, because while I get what you're saying, and frankly, man, someone who grew up in the comic shops and was having those debates and was arguing that sort of stuff, especially with old heads. Again, the whole reason I'm a nerd is because my dad was a nerd. He was reading comics before I was born. He was reading comics during my birth, like the whole nine. He got me into comics. Comics helped me learn to read, right? I was reading Spider-Man and Morbius and shit before I was even in kindergarten. So yeah, those debates were happening, but they were always in the context of this is fun, it's for the fandom, as opposed to now the arguments that are being had are, hey, the youngins are, why are all these panty shots and jiggling boobs is distracting, and us old heads are like, guys, that's part of anime. I mean, if you don't like that, I don't know what to tell you. That's the shit that we don't want to change. If you want to change it, that's an issue. So the arguments are more about culture instead of the product itself. That's where I think the difference is between what you said and what we're seeing with the anime community.
So in the 90s, and even in the 80s, people flocked to comic books because they were like counterculture, right? Like they were kind of on the cusp of and then there was like the crash, and like very, very much now they hold like a lot of mainstream ideals, unless you're getting into like independent stuff. Well, because it's like that, the problem is now you're getting these flocks of people kind of looking for, because everyone's looking for an answer to that, to get that type of like counterculture entertainment. And now you're getting all these normies coming in, trying to bring in their current policies and political views and stuff like that, and want to change it, which is the problem is that's the reason that everyone's been flocking to this in the first place. You know what I mean? Like American comic books have already been compromised. A lot of other aspects, video games have already been compromised. You know, so you're looking for these things where you can have like these hard-hitting, edgier storylines, and yes, a little bit of fanfare, and you know, a little bit of hypersexualization, what have you. And then you have these people who come in and then they want to change it, and they want to make it as milk toast as everything else. And
right. And see, that's I feel like anytime this conversation comes up, you know, I get labeled or told as like, you know, oh, gatekeep everyone, keep everyone out. You know, that's not the mentality. The mentality has always been, look, everyone starts off as a normie for something. At one point, all of us here that read comics were normies for comic books. We were normies for video games, or at one point, normies for anime. But we never wanted to change it. We want to learn and experience it and accept it as it is. And if you were a normie coming into anime and your first anime was Demon Slayer in the 2020s because of the pandemic, that's a-okay. I don't have an issue with that. What I have an issue with is if you go back and you're like, oh, I liked Demon Slayer. Now let's go watch, Fairy Tail, which is honestly not even that old, but like comparatively to Demon Slayer's a few years older, and you start seeing all the fan service, and you start, oh, this is gross. Oh, I don't like this. Oh, what? And old anime is bad. Like, no, it's not. I don't like the idea that you're going to try and adjust, you know, our hobby, our love for your modern sensibilities simply because you don't understand.
Yes. Well, and also we're not gatekeeping. So like, I'm not very familiar.
I absolutely am.
Oh, well, I'm saying I'm not very familiar with like Warhammer, right? Like that's just something that like kind of missed me. I have friends right now. If I told them, hey, I want to get into Warhammer lore, they will sit me down for 40 hours and talk nonstop.
A whole ass work week, and you would still get through one chapter. Like,
absolutely. But it was like they'd be willing to like take it. It was like there's plenty of people who are willing to do that. But you know what? I can tell you this: if I started coming in and going like, well, what if we change this? Then I don't know if I like that anymore. They would probably stop and go like, hey man, maybe this game ain't for you.
Exactly.
You brought something up interesting, and maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like young anime fans don't do this, which is ask old heads for recommendations. Like if someone comes to me and they're like, yo, I just got into anime. I've seen like Death Note and Demon Slayer, and that's really about it. Can you give me some recommendations? I feel like these young anime fans don't ask for recommendations. I've seen almost 400 anime, right? So if you were to, I'd be like, all right, what sort of genre do you like? If they go sci-fi, I got 5 off the top of the dome I can recommend you from sci-fi, from the 80s all the way up to the 2020s. They say I like romance, same thing. I got 5 off the top of the dome I can recommend. Oh, I like action. Oh, I like whatever it is. I like rom-coms. I guess I already said romance. The point is, I find myself in this position when talking to younger anime fans, whether it be on the internet or whatnot, that they already assume they know everything about anime, and that is an issue I have.
Okay, first of all, that's a twofold problem. So, or like, well, I guess it's whatever. You should keep those 5 animes to yourself and recommend 5 different animes. First of all, because these guys are not going to appreciate it. And then, oh shit, I forgot what the other one was.
Well, when you say recommend 5 different anime, like what do you mean? Because I mean, I didn't even give an example.
You keep the 5 anime that you would really, really recommend to people and give them something else and see how they handle that. Like, because
what do you think I would recommend? Like, hold on. So if someone walks up to me and says, Leon, I'm getting into anime. I like sci-fi. I mean, what do you think I would recommend?
Probably Ghost in the Shell, right? That's going to be like
no, Ghost in the Shell wouldn't be one of my go-tos. No, I'd probably my first go-to when it comes to sci-fi would be Psycho-Pass. Psycho-Pass is a very easily digestible. It is not intrinsically inherently Japanese. It's very like it's very much like Cowboy Bebop, and then there isn't a lot of cultural differences. So Cowboy Bebop is an excellent entry anime.
This actually is perfect, because the reason I say that is, do you really think TikTok brain is going to let them enjoy Psycho-Pass?
Well, but that's how you suss out who is and isn't, in my opinion, and again, it's going to sound elitist, but I don't care, worthy of the culture. I don't want to just assume. I don't want to assume all youngins don't that have TikTok brain aren't going to appreciate it. I want to find, like, there are kids nowadays that they're listening to Michael Jackson, they're listening to the Beatles, and they're loving it, and they're gonna be inspired by that sort of thing. Or they're listening to Johnny Cash or shit. kids nowadays probably think of 90s as oldies, and they're listening to like Green Day and Sugar Ray and shit. But like, point is, there are the ones that will absorb it and take interest in it, and those are the ones I want to find and cultivate.
Yeah,
I think Leon, this article is being like disingenuous, where like basically saying that, well, you can't please 100% of the audience. No medium is going to do that. Come on, you're always going to have critics in every fucking medium, from video games to comic books to movies. You can't please everybody, like you said, Leon. If some people find it problematic, how many people what on Twitter or X, 5-6 people, fans, 2 YouTube videos? Again, Demon Slayer, the medium isn't breaking box office records because people are criticizing it. You're going to get 1 or 2 morons on the internet, but the Stream Rant's kind of fucking just that clickbaity shit. Like, oh, some people find it problematic. Some people, what 4 fucking fans?
Well,
it is kind of problematic because they're not talking about. You said you can't please everybody. Yeah, well, of course, this is an entire genre of animation, right? Which has
it's an entire
a million,
medium, not even genre.
Medium,
genres.
Right. Which has a bunch of subgenres. So it was like very rarely do you find something where everybody's on board with it, and it's usually one property, and it's usually for the summer that it comes out, and it's the summer of that, and it's the biggest thing ever. And it was like, and if they try to go in a different direction, you're gonna have people who hate it or people who continue to
there's absolutely anime out there that break the zeitgeist, and like even people that don't watch anime like insert anime here. Like there's a few off the top of the dome. I know people that have never watched a single anime besides Death Note, but they love Death Note. They love Cowboy Bebop's another one. People love Cowboy Bebop. People love Full Metal Alchemist. Why? Because these are staple shows that are just so good on their own merit. People might not have any inclination to watch any other anime ever again, but they see Cowboy Bebop or they see FMA, or they're like, nah, this is it. I'm down. This is all I need. The article goes on to say, so anime is in a better state than it's ever been. Currently, Japanese fans are raving about Chainsaw Man's first film. Now, here's an issue I have. Again, I don't know if they just don't know the actual Japanese zeitgeist, or if they're just saying stuff because, oh, this is the movie that's popular. Chainsaw Man in Japan it's just doing about average. It's actually not doing anything near like what Demon Slayer is doing. In terms of the Japanese box office for Chainsaw Man, it's doing fine. It's doing about what you'd expect a movie to do. So, again, they're wrong there.
So
and then they go on to say...
This article, Leon's already full of shit.
Yeah, I think so as well. There's never been an easier time to be an anime fan, but it's the change in anime fandom itself that's proving difficult for some to contend with. Staple tropes of the art form have come under fire, and the words fan service have become something like dynamite for anyone brave enough to mention them. And, this article is correct there, but it doesn't present that like it's a problem, and I wholeheartedly think that's a problem.
I said, look at the wording. Difficult for some. Remember, we live in an era where saying truth, justice, the American way for some people is offensive. For some people,
but those are the people that won out, and we didn't get truth, justice, in the American way. So, and that's unfortunately where I think anime may be heading. Like you're right. It may only be some people, but if those are the people that are being appeased, that's why I think it merits the discussion.
Yeah. Well, I think that Japan, unlike Marvel and DC and Disney and fucking Star Wars, Lucasfilm, they care about money, not bullshit. We've already seen how many. Hey guys, we have new Mandalorian and Grogu. Yeah, big deal. Lucasfilm has lost billions of dollars, destroying Indiana Jones. Japan's too busy counting their fucking money. Like, you know what, man? Keep your Western ideology and shove it up your ass, because we're counting money while you guys are
but they're starting to get that Western money now. So like that'll change a lot of things. And also there's a lot of leftist politics that are starting to infiltrate Japanese culture. There's a lot more feminist women running for certain roles in the country. It was like, if you think that's not going to have effect on the culture, I mean, obviously it does. We've seen that with our culture, where how it's deteriorated. And it's not to say that there's not a place for feminist politics, but it was like, when you have anything overrun by anything, so much so that you're literally saying that masculinity is toxic, and where it's degraded so much so into that, you're going to get some bleed over. And unfortunately, anytime you get any bleed over like that, usually art is one of the first things to die.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because what older anime fans once took pride in and might have been mocked over is now being spoken about and debated by fans who never experienced the difficulties that came with being an anime fan years ago. and that's okay. Uncomfortable conversations about the depictions of young anime girls or the intentions of the creators should be had. No, they
go
shouldn't.
fuck yourself. Yeah,
Like
my counter to that is lick my balls.
Yeah, I do not think it is a conversation that needs to
Go
be
fuck
had
yourself.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like the fact of the matter is, at least in my opinion, this is part of anime. This has been part of anime since the inception of anime. There is no conversation we had. This is how it's done. This
If
is
you
how it
feel
works.
something should change in anime, anime is not right for you.
I
Yeah,
would say that,
agreed.
like Leon, you
hashtag
know,
anime did nothing wrong.
you know way more
Yeah.
anime than me. A friend of mine said, Chris, he goes, dude, there's already woke agendas already there. Like there's trans this, gay that, but bisexual they, them, but you don't hear about it because it's no one gives a shit. Like Demon Slayer proved without representation, it's breaking records. So isn't it already there, but nobody really gives a shit?
Well, you know, it's not about. Oh, go for it, Sammy.
No, we talked about this last time where it was like that was another one of my theories. Is it was like, hey, they can make as many woke animes as they want.
Yeah.
Like, you know, money talks and bullshit walks. Like people are still gonna go to what's tried and true, and these people are gonna be like, you'll have this one artist going like, why do I keep failing at this? And it was like, because you're wrong. It's because you suck.
Well, so I agree with the idea that money talks and bullshit walks. And the thing is, there is money talking right now in that, you know, there is funding from the West into anime. So, again, it's not even necessarily about it being, you know, quote unquote woke or anything to that effect, so much so as, hey, if we start seeing changes to satiate the West, that will dilute the product. And we have been seeing that in Japanese gaming and in anime. Yeah. So, I mean, since we've been seeing it now, who's to say how much, you know, how bad it's going to get? But we have been seeing it, and the money is talking because they are being paid by Western, you know, organizations. So it goes on to say, and we'll wrap it. We'll get through this and we'll get final thoughts. There are excuse me, sorry. There are aspects of the anime industry, despite how long-standing or rooted in tradition, that should come under question. Debate is a sign of a healthy community, and changes prove that those in the community care deeply for the entertainment they enjoy. I vehemently disagree with this. That does not mean you care, because a lot of people clamored for change for the MCU. We need more female characters. We need more black characters. Now, that didn't mean they cared about the fucking media or the property they enjoyed. So, like, again, this is fundamentally flawed thinking, and in my opinion, it is intentional. It's by design they worded it this way.
No, because it's disingenuous, right? Yes, debate is great in certain fandoms, like, you know, like in Naruto. If you want to talk about like certain retcons, that did they break the story or not, or was it too much? Those are the things that fans debate about, or like this character, if you know, in this form, could they beat this character in this form? Those are the debates that the nerds are having. All of this shit, whether it's politically correct
in the comments, like me and Daxnar have gotten into shouting matches about what Dragon Ball Super did or didn't do proper in terms of like, did it ruin Z? Is it a bad product? Whatever. Like we've gotten into literal shouting matches on stream about Dragon Ball Super, but it's always about the context of the writing, the characters, the story. Because like you said, Sammy, that is what fans should be debating. But if that's not what fans are debating, like maybe I'm wrong, but I would think these companies, these corporations, whatnot, especially because there's money to be made, they are going to take note of what people are talking about, whether it be through analytics on the internet, because that's how so much, you know, marketing is done. Global marketing is done through sentiment on the internet, whether it be just based off what is and isn't selling. But the debates being had are being paid attention to, and whoever is winning the debate, which usually just means the person who is talking the loudest, is the one that will likely win out in the end in terms of where the company decides to guide the business.
That's what freaks me out, because these people who argue about these things, they're usually the loudest because they think they're coming from a moral high ground, and they couldn't be further from the truth. They're just imposing their will on everybody else.
Well, Sammy, something you said, and Leon, we can back this up. Do you know this? Like you said, they're getting Western money, but to my knowledge, and again, to look at the box office, take America out of the equation. Demon Slayer is going to do almost $1 billion without American box office. Is our money really that powerful? Because they cannot reach in America.
It's not about the box office. You're misunderstanding, Blue. So these investment firms that we're always talking about, BlackRock, State Street, the whole nine.
Yeah.
These are Western companies that are just giving these Japanese anime manga companies money, saying we are investing in you. Here is all the money. We're giving this to you. We're investing. But since we are giving you all this money, there's strings attached. It comes with X, Y, Z. So it's not about the money that we are paying to see the movie. They're raking the box office. It's the back end accounting that I'm talking about when it comes to the money.
Okay.
And you know, you'd be insane to say that it doesn't help with distribution and advertising and all that. So there's a lot of things. Yeah, it did well, and we just talked about how excellently this was advertised. Well, there was back money, you know, back alley money helping that. You know, there's people investing in that, especially considering this is one of the biggest IPs on the planet right now. People want to dip their fingers in it.
Crunchyroll has a complete domination and stranglehold on the anime market, at least in the West. I mean, unless you're pirating your anime, which, to be fair, High sees it up. That's what I do. Unless you're pirating your anime. Do you watch anime anywhere else other than Crunchyroll? Any of you guys?
I do. I was just at the gym.
I was heartbroken when the Funimation app died.
I do, Leon. I do watch. I was watching Dragon Ball Super Saiyan on Hulu. So
does Crunchyroll even have competition?
No,
like
it bought the Funimation app. The Viz app, I don't think is even available in
doesn't
the
that
US.
make that a monopoly?
Well, not necessarily, because Netflix is technically considered competition, because Netflix has also invested a lot in anime. In fact, a couple months ago, there's an article. I was going to do a video on it, but I couldn't quite figure out the proper angle to make it make sense to normies, and that's a failing on my part. But Netflix is the one company that has Crunchyroll sweating. Netflix and Crunchyroll are in constant bidding wars over who gets what anime, because Netflix doesn't want to lose out. And while everyone credits Demon Slayer for being like the reason anime went mainstream in the pandemic, I actually reject that notion. In my opinion, anime started going mainstream and getting like real notoriety when Netflix started going hard on Netflix original anime, which was like 2014, give or take. So once Netflix, like when you were scrolling through the streaming app and it had a section just called anime, and there was Naruto and Black Butler and that fucking Dracula one,
Hellsing,
fucking Hellsing. But then they also had like Netflix exclusive, and it was Japanese. It was anime that Netflix bought the rights to exclusively distribute in the West. Like that did so much for the rise of anime being mainstream. That Demon Slayer, I think, is just kind of what tipped it over the edge. But really, Netflix laid the groundwork.
Go ahead, bud.
I'll say it, but also, I mean, Netflix had Devil May Cry.
Well, they had Devil May Cry, but
that's how I watched Devil May Cry for the first time. Actually,
that's how I watched Death Note. You know,
no. I thought you meant the original Devil May Cry from 2007. So there was a Devil May Cry anime.
No, the new one.
Yeah.
That's not anime. That doesn't count. That wasn't Japanese. That doesn't count. No, there's a Japanese Devil May Cry anime from 2007, and I watched it on streaming in like 2009 on Netflix on my fucking Wii. Like that's how I saw the Devil May Cry anime for the first time. It's again, I was already an anime fan, so it was easy for me. But the point is, Netflix was going hard on the anime train before anyone else.
I mean, it had what's some other ones that it was? It had Trigun on there. It had
you're right.
I mean, all of these
Desert Punk. I saw Desert Punk for the first time.
They had, and also too something that we forget. At the time when I was watching these things, Netflix was the only real one with skin in the game as far as like streaming was. So there was a point in time where like Netflix was really your only streaming app. They didn't really start getting into these streaming wars until like 2015, 2016, and then by 2017 every single fucking channel now has a streaming service. Like there was a point in time where Netflix had this really great collection of movies where it would have all the Marvel movies, but it would have Batman and stuff on there as well, because it was the only game in town.
Right. The only competition, there was only two streaming services, really. It was Hulu and Netflix. And so there was no diversification.
Yeah. And
everything, you got everything on either one or the other.
Yes, absolutely. So you would have this, and then So they really started getting heavy into anime. And so, you see it, it's there. It was like, it's the closest that like these Gen Alpha kids are ever going to have to like walking through a Blockbuster and like looking at the art. It's like when you're doom surfing through Netflix and you have a million things at your disposal, but you don't know what to watch. Well, eventually, you know what? I always have to give it to anime. They got a lot of cool looking fucking box art. So like that's naturally gonna bring people to that. So
and I saw some people in the comments saying that Toonami and Adult Swim and whatnot really lay the groundwork, and like to an extent I do agree with that. But here's where I reject that idea. Netflix, Toonami and Adult Swim, which is where a lot of people started first seeing anime. It was almost exclusively shonen, so it wasn't anime as a whole. It was one particular genre of anime, whereas Netflix opened the door to. Here is sci-fi and romance and fantasy and just isekai and everything. So, like, yes, you are technically correct that Toonami and Adult Swim really, and frankly, the Sci-Fi Channel actually even before that laid the groundwork. But it was still niche in that it was more or less marketed as if it was for kids, and it was also really only one specific genre.
And it wasn't at your fingertips the way that Netflix was, where you had
exactly.
Sitting there in front of the television at a certain time. This is just waiting for you to hit play. It's an entirely different style. But I'd be remiss if no one mentioned Toonami or
you guys mentioned. So I pulled up Netflix right now just to see their anime section. I mean, okay, popular stuff from Demon Slayer, Dan to Dan. You have Inuyasha. You got Naruto, Fullmetal Alchemist. So Netflix. I mean, they got a pretty healthy anime library on Netflix right now.
Yeah, but they share. Don't they share the same series with Crunchyroll? Because you still have all those same series are still on Crunchyroll. So people are going to be like, I don't need to pay for 2 subscription services. I'm just going to choose Crunchyroll.
Well, so the difference, Cindy, is that the people pay for both because while they're the popular ones are shared amongst both, you're correct. Each one, it's just like old school gaming in the 90s, 2000s, has exclusives. There are going to be people that want to watch Noragami. Noragami ain't on Crunchyroll, never will be. Like Netflix, unless the rights and licensing has changed. But for the longest time, at least, Noragami was only on Netflix. Like you could not watch it anywhere else. And there was a lot. Carol and Tuesday only on Netflix. You could not watch Carol and Tuesday anywhere else, at least in the West. Now, what anime are exclusive to Netflix right now? What are exclusive to Crunchyroll right now? I don't know, but like that is the draw. Netflix has paid a premium to get what's called Netflix exclusive anime, so they will never be on Crunchyroll until the license runs out, which could be 1 year, could be 10 years, whatever they decide to pay for.
There's also things too on these platforms where you'll find that even though they both have the same IP. This streaming service has seasons 1 and 2. This has 3 and 4.
One Piece is like that. Yeah. So Netflix had the rights. Netflix had the rights to like the first, like I think it was like 300 episodes of One Piece, but then nothing after that. And Crunchyroll had everything else up to like episode 1,000. But then Netflix had episode like 1,001 to like 1,100. Like so. Yeah.
Food Wars was like that, where I literally had to jump on 3 different streaming services to watch.
Same. Netflix only had the first 2 seasons, and then I had to go to.
I had to go to
watched
Hulu.
it legally from season 3 onward, but it was season 3 onward was on Crunchyroll. At least it was.
Yeah, now it's on like HBO Max. Yeah, so like it's hard getting. So Naruto, so on Hulu, Naruto Shippuden would stop as soon as they got to the Great Ninja War, and you're like, well. Or maybe shortly after the Pain arc, something like that, where you're like, well, it was like, okay, well, we're missing like 500 episodes here.
Right?
Are you ever gonna put those on? And they're, so then you type in like, hey, last 500 episodes of Shippuden. They're like, oh yeah, dog, you got to go over here. And
exactly. And that's still a thing to this day. So let's round out this article. Anime, as longtime fans knew, it is dead and isn't ever coming back. Those who truly love anime as a form of entertainment won't benefit from getting caught up in what's gone, but there's quite a bit to gain in embracing the change. Do we agree with that statement, or if you do or don't, let me know.
No, go fuck yourself.
I do agree with the anime as long time fans know it is dead and it's never coming back. Like that, I think that's an objectively true statement. It's this last part. Those who truly love anime as a form of entertainment won't benefit from getting caught up once gone. But there's quite a bit to gain embracing the change. That is where I disagree. That's like saying, yo, you're never gonna get bands like the Beatles again. You may as well listen to Kesha. Like,
yeah. That's just like
disagree with this.
Lie down and take it.
Yeah.
By the way, no shit. I actually do. I like Kesha, but I couldn't think of anyone. Anyway, but yeah.
Yeah, so something else I watched in Hulu. I watched Hulu fucking Bleach 1,000 Year Blood War on Hulu. It was fucking fantastic.
I still gotta watch
that.
that.
That's one of the sole reasons I have Hulu is for 1,000 Year Blood War, actually. And we won't be having Hulu much longer because they're going away. It's gonna be Disney Plus. And I don't watch Disney Plus. I'm gonna need so I'm gonna have to say high seas 1,000 Year Blood War. But yeah, final thoughts on this article or on this topic as a whole before we move on.
Yeah, Leon, I think it feels very clickbaity. I think they're over. There is some worry, yes, but I think they're definitely over exaggerating. But also, you said it's good for us as fans. If there's woke shit, call it out. If there's stuff like Demon Slayer, call it out. We have 2 more Demon Slayer movies. It's the box office won't be hurting, or the manga is fucking selling over in America more than comic books are selling right now.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, I agree. The manga is, I think manga is in less danger than anime because, so manga is, obviously as right from the author's writings, and those the manga industry in Japan is they are moving towards AI translation instead of translators, so you're going to get that direct translation, so there's no room for localizers to fuck it up. Anime hasn't quite crested that hill yet, so manga I think is far less of a worry than anime.
Well, anime is going the route of they're going to have AI take the Japanese voice actors and have them like translate it to English automatically. So yeah, they are already taking that step because they're getting sick of
they are. So that's a relative within the last year or so, because I remember covering, because Masuko Nozawa, the voice actress for Goku, she's a big proponent of it, and she's lent her voice to it, and she's having AI being trained on her voice. That way, after she's dead, Goku can keep being voiced by her, which I'm all for. I love that. Yeah. Look, if Masuko Nozawa advocates for it, she is my Goku. Like to me, Japanese Goku, Masuko Nozawa, she is my Goku. That's the Goku I want to hear. But that still seems, it's more recent. Manga's been doing it pretty much since the advent of AI. They've been trying to figure it out. So they've got a couple years on anime doing it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a feeling that they're gonna start listening to the West, even though they don't need to, like, at all. They shouldn't be like listening to the people who failed, to improve their product. So, but I feel like they're still gonna get hit.
Yeah,
I just don't know if they know that we failed. And maybe they do, maybe they don't. I genuinely don't know. But if they don't know that we failed, they don't know they're repeating our mistakes.
Well, here it's a tale as old as time, and it's something that's gone back to any sort of niche hobby. Anything, as soon as it hits mainstream, it dies because it becomes more commercialized. It becomes, you're trying to appeal to a wider audience. You're trying to appeal to people who weren't initially enjoying what made it great in the first place, because you're trying to branch out because it got bigger, and these things eventually hit like a critical mass, and then it's kind of ruined. And sometimes you get lucky enough where it comes back and it's just not the main thing anymore, and the people who liked it continue to enjoy it.
I'm replaying Persona 4 right now for the first time in years, and I fucking love this game. But there's a character that is a female that you think is a male throughout most of the game, and then you get like fucking 100 hours into the game. It turns out the characters are female, and they claim they want to be a male, but really it's because they're all like, women are treated bad in the police, in the police department. So if I was a boy, it'd make it easier. And one of the other girls is like, you don't want to be a boy, you want to be a girl. You just don't like how girls are treated. And the character that's been presenting herself as a boy this whole time is like, yeah, you're right. And that game's about to get her. Oh, it's amazing. But the game's about to get, now mind you, this game came out in like 2009. This game's about to get a remake. The remake's in production. And so I'm terrified that they're going to make Naruto, which is the name of the character, a they, them. Like the Western localization. They're like, oh man, we can't just have this female character that wants to be a boy. Say, never mind, I do want to be a girl. You're right. I guarantee you they're
it's going to change. She's going to be like, you know what? I don't know what I am. I think
that will fundamentally alter the character arc of Naruto. And I'm, look, I want to be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. There's a whole ass scene where the girls play the prank on the dudes and make them sign up for a drag show, and everyone's roasting them for it, making fun of them for doing drag and everything. And it's like, I doubt that's gonna be in the fucking remake. I bet they're gonna heavily alter it.
No, probably not. You know, but like I said, it's unfortunately that is the crux of watching something you love go mainstream. You know, it was like even metal. You know, you got those old school guys who's like, or punk rock. You get those. You know, it's never going to be like it was when it was just at CBGB and everybody was doing heroin. You could break a chair over another dude. It's never going to be like that again, man. And you're like, yeah, no, probably not. You know. I'm sorry that this genre of music went out of these shithole clubs in the Bowery of New York, but you know it happens. You know, like I'll still pop on the Ramones every now and then and go like, hey, that's a lot of fun. But there's never going to be another band like the Ramones. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to our next topic. Before we do all, let's hit the supers, guys. I appreciate you. I'm trying to hold up on the supers until we finish the topics. That way, there's no break in it. But we'll get the thank you. So, Angmar WK for a 20 banger. I do believe anime is in trouble. Like every hobby that's gone mainstream, tabletop gaming, etc., it will get ruined, and fake fans will try and again push out the actual fans that have been here since it was niche. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I do. That was a 20 banger. You're gonna get yourself a long clip. This for you, man.
Horse Even's great.
I'm digging horsecock.
Is your cock a horse cock? You will never hear me say it. Nay. Ooh, as I speak more.
My favorite stallion I keep in my top drawer kinda goes hard though.
Cause there is no cock like horse cock. Send your asshole into shock and eat horse.
I don't know how we're going to ever top horsecock.
Bingo,
Sure.
bango, bongo. Thank you so much, brother. And then we got Girthy Banana up here with two bangers. Says there's also High Dive and Disney, and you're correct that they do both offer anime, but I don't think either. I mean, they can't compare to Crunchyroll and Netflix. They're small potatoes by comparison. But yes, you can use them. I actually got a High Dive subscription not too long ago, just specifically so I could watch Sundere Dark Elf. And then Girthy Banana for another two banger. I woke up with the Inuyasha ending every Saturday night, man. You know what? You hit me in the nostalgia because I was right, dude. Here's the deal. Here's the problem. Because you hit me in the nostalgia, I'm about to depress your ass.
I feel personally attacked.
Come back.
Yeah.
That's what you get for triggering the nostalgia boner.
Oh,
all right.
No.
Excuse me. Let's talk about Resident Evil. Let's talk about Resident Evil.
Oh,
I don't know how
boy.
much you guys care about this, but it's my fucking show. So I want to get you guys' thoughts on this article. I know that games journalism is dead, but this is one of the rare instances where bro, I kind of fucking agree hard. So Resident Evil Requiem producer says you don't need to play the prior games in the franchise to enjoy Resident Evil 9. I take issue with that. The marketing around Resident Evil Requiem has not been shy about the fact the game will be making a return to the ruins of Raccoon City, the location of the first three games in the 30-year-old franchise. Next year is Resident Evil's 30th anniversary, and bringing everything full circle to the beginning in RE9 makes sense. But according to one of the game's producers in a new interview with VGC, players will still be able to have fun with the game, even if it's their first in the series. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. This is the 9th game. Really, it's not even the 9th game. If you count Zero, Code Veronica, really, this is the 11th game, and that's not even including spin-offs. Like, of just the mainline entries. This is the 11th game. I'm sorry, it shouldn't be newbie friendly. It
Operation Raccoon City was a great game.
Why does it need to go back to the beginning to make sense?
Well, I mean,
that's a whole different discussion that we can have off stream because I can rant for an hour about why that's a problem.
I want to hear that. Just record, Leon. Fuck it. It'd be a good video.
Yeah.
I've done, I think, 2 or 3 videos on it so far already. So if you guys want to know my thoughts on that, I've got videos that are within the last month or two old. But yeah, no, I mean, do you think that if this is the 11th game, the 11th mainline game of the franchise, should it be newbie accessible?
No.
Sorry.
How about you play the whole freaking series like the rest of us?
Cindy, that requires work and time.
Then you shouldn't play it.
Okay, 18-year-olds in TikTok don't have this kind of time.
They don't have the time for the story. They have to watch everything at 2 times speed.
Perfect. Then we can just keep going then.
Yep.
This is a quote from the producer, the director. We think it's important to balance the extra fun that you get from the nostalgic Easter eggs and hints and lore connections if you're a series fan, versus not making a game alienating to players who aren't caught up. RE9 producer says, I don't want people to feel like they had to do homework to fully appreciate this game. Full stop. This is the 11th fucking game. Can you imagine if fucking the MCU was like, look, guys, Endgame's coming out, but we're going to make it to where you didn't have to watch the previous 26 fucking Marvel movies.
Yeah, they did that with Star Wars. It's called The Acolyte, and people lost their mind.
Yeah.
We're like, hey, you know that lore that you like? We're just going to throw that out the window there. And
well, I guess I'll play devil's advocate, Leon. Like, this is the problem companies like Devil May Cry, Resident Evil has with a longtime franchise. How do you bring in new fans while also pleasing the old fans? And Stanley famously said that was hard part being a comic book writer.
I don't think you need to, nor do I think you should. Here's the deal.
Yeah.
Resident Evil, for decades has been Capcom's highest selling franchise. Only in the last few years did it get beat out by Monster Hunter. So now Monster Hunter is the highest selling, and Resident Evil is the second highest selling. If it's your highest selling and second highest selling IP, and you're on the 11th fucking mainline game, not counting all the spinoffs, you probably have enough fans to justify all the money you're going to make. You don't really need to bring in new fans on your 11th fucking game.
Which I agree, but I always said this is the problem with Hollywood, is that the problem in Hollywood and our video game industry creators that they don't see you and me, Cindy, Sammy as being the target audience anymore, because we're grandparents compared to what they are trying to target now. That's the issue.
True, but and while I hear people make that argument, my argument is, well, guess what? Us people that are the ones like taking our kids and grandkids and whatnot these movies, we're the ones with the fucking money. Exactly. So you really should be targeting us because
I agree with you. Trust me.
Maybe I'm a selfish individual. If it doesn't look good or fun or interesting to me, I don't give a fuck how much the little kids want to see it. I'm the one paying, and I'm not going to pay for shit. Like,
okay. Gaming in itself is all generational. The key demographic of gamers is like guys our age, dude. Like that's what it is. We are the people with the money to buy this shit. Okay, this is
what 16-year-old has $80 for a new game? Like,
no joke,
dude. I was gonna say if that was the cost of games, like when I was first gaming, like I would have 2 games, and that would have been it. And I sure as
kids all play Fortnite because it's fucking free.
Yeah, exactly. Another thing too is it's the same thing with comics. It's the same thing with like an IP like Star Trek. I can't tell you how many games where like I just bought it because it was the new one. And I played it, and then I realized that I was like totally like out of sorts. And then you know what? I had to go back and do some research. Whether you watch a playthrough or whatever, and you go, "Oh, well, why is this?" Or you ask someone who's older, and you're like, "Oh, yeah, you know, like you watch Star Trek? Yeah, man, I watch all Star Trek. Why is this? Well, this happened in this episode here. You should check out these episodes." And like this will get you caught up on it. I don't know. Google it. It was like part of the joy of loving a series like this is knowing all you can about it. So like,
can you imagine if someone was like, "Yeah, so I watched Return of the Jedi for the first time. I didn't really like it." Really? Yeah. I mean, I didn't see the first 2. Well, no fucking shit, you didn't like it. It's not Return of the Jedi's goddamn job to make you like. It's the 3rd movie in the fucking franchise.
Yeah. No, that's like me saying it was like, "Hey, I just picked up a Batman comic. I don't understand it." Like I was like, "Well, naturally you're gonna have questions. Like obviously everyone knows Bruce Wayne is but like with these plethora of other characters, it takes time to learn what like their motivations are, or what. Or it was like my wife just bought me these like as a novelty. They're like dice you can throw, and it was like, oh, this character, this character, this character, and this character, and this happens. Write the Batman story. It was like, well, I read enough Batman where I could probably do that. Well, if you just pick one off of the shelf and just read it one time, well, obviously not. So, like, to take away these, not so to start something not knowing the premise or the character's motivations or where we fall in on the timeline, that's absolutely asinine that you're going to try to make it approachable for new players. Now, granted, I hope you do. I hope a bunch of new players play it and then go, well, what the fuck are they talking about here? And then they're enticed to play the other games and appreciate for what it's for. That's how it's always been. You don't get to put training wheels on it just because you want new players. It, like you said, it's one of the top, it's Capcom's second biggest cash cow. Why are you going to fuck with it?
Much like many people, my first Fallout game was Fallout 3, but I loved it. Guess what I did? I went back and played Fallout 1 and 2, even though they are ridiculously different and hard and whatnot. My first Persona game was Persona 5, which is the most recent one. I fell so hard in love with that. I went back and I played the old games because I fucking love them. Like now, it's one of my favorite franchises of all time. I'm trying to think, what is there a franchise that I got into with the first one besides Resident Evil? Like Legend of Zelda. My first Legend of Zelda game was Link's Awakening, which was like it was a Game Boy game, and it's like the fucking sixth in the series or something.
Yeah, okay, but that's you being an actual fan. Like you're talking about people who have no idea what an actual fan is anymore. They're catering to people who would never buy these games because they themselves do not have the money.
That's the problem. That's
true, but also like, so like every time there's like a new
you can go, Blue.
That's fine.
Sorry. Every time there's like a new console, right? There's like one of these new, like Nintendo especially. Like you assume you're gonna get a Legend of Zelda game. You're gonna assume that you're gonna get like a Mario Kart game. You're gonna assume that you're gonna get like a Prime Mario game, right? The controls are the controls. I don't think that they've done much updates on now. Granted, when you jump from like playing original PlayStation to when you get to like Xbox 360 and on, like, yes, I mean, you got cameras now, you have a bunch of different changes in gameplay, but like once you got to a certain quality of gameplay, I don't think that they've changed the gameplay that much in Resident Evil games, where it was like
not until Resident Evil 4. No, Resident Evil 0, 1, 2, 3, and Code Veronica all play the exact goddamn same. Resident Evil 4 changed it because the games, and why they changed it, because the games weren't selling well. There was always diminishing returns. They were selling less and less. Like, hey, if we want to keep the series relevant, we have to change shit. And they changed it, and it became the best-selling fucking game in the series at the time it came out. Some people argue whether or not it ruined the series, divided the series. I'm not here to have that debate right now, but the point is, yeah, more or less, like the people that wanted to learn and the people that wanted to get into it, learned and got into it. Hey, thank you so much for the sub, Project Fear. All right, so the article goes on. Blue, say what you're gonna say, and then I'll go with the article.
So you mentioned sales. I did look up. So RE7 which was divisive because it was quote unquote too scary. RE7 sold as of June this year 15 million fucking copies. RE8 still sold 12 million copies, which is pretty good. But as we've already seen, they're saying that RE9, much like RE8, is becoming too scary for the casual players who need to give the third person or first person mode to attract new players. And I'm like, you guys sold 15 million copies of RE7. You're obviously not bleeding fucking sales. You're selling pretty goddamn well. And RE4 remake, the remake sold 10 million copies. So like Leon said, the franchise isn't losing customers.
No, why would you dumb down to scary?
Yeah, the customers want to be scared.
It's a fucking horror game. Like,
my god!
Yeah. For RE7 being too scary, you sold
a
single player game. 15
your comment
copies.
had not come through when I said that. Dude, we said the exact. I said it's a fucking horror game, and then this comment popped up said it's a fucking horror game.
Yeah, that
wavelengths.
You guys actually.
Sorry, go on. You go on, Blue. What were you saying?
Oh, no, like Sammy said, that's why RE8. I do like RE8, but it's more action packed because the main complaint was the game is too scary. I'm like, you sold 15 fucking million copies. Again, who's complaining? What, 4 people on Twitter? Like,
not only did you sell 15 million copies, but you sold 15 million copies after Resident Evil 6 was up. It wasn't a flop. It was actually the highest selling game that had come out at that point. But everyone hated it. Everyone hated Resident Evil 6. It's arguably the most loathed game in the series. And so they had an uphill battle. Not only did it become
You're right.
massively successful, 15 million copies, but that's after the biggest deuce in the fucking franchise up to that point. So he goes on to say, personally, if I'm playing the 9th numbered game in a franchise with an overarching storyline, I would kind of expect to be alienated and feel lost. Again, I can't believe it. I agree with the games journalist. Kumazawa continued saying he thinks even if you don't know anything about it, you're just going to play this as a horror game set in a ruined city. You'll be able to understand and enjoy it 100%. To me, that's bad. You should not be able to just sit and play Resident Evil 9, which is the 11th game, is just play it as a horror game. No, it's the 11th fucking game in a chronological story. It's not like Final Fantasy where every game is its own independent story.
Yeah.
You don't
it's
really
not like
need
Zelda.
to play. You can play the first couple of games, sure. If you don't want to play the rest, at least kind of catching a synopsis at minimum from someone else.
There's a fucking wiki for everything nowadays.
There's a playthrough for everything nowadays. You guaranteed you can watch. You can watch right now. Type in Resident Evil timeline. You will get filled in.
I shit you not. I've sat and watched. It took me about a week to get through because I put it on while I was doing stuff. An 8-hour fucking video essay on the entire chronology of Resident Evil. And by the way, I didn't learn anything from it because I've been a fan from the beginning. Literally nothing in that 8-hour video was new information to me. I just wanted to consume Resident Evil shit.
Yep.
Again,
I did the same thing for Metal Gear
because it's my favorite franchise of all time. So, but I'm sure for other people that it was an 8-hour video like that's legitimately helpful. But even so.
Well, no, I know like way more about it now, even on games that I played. So like I casually play Resident Evil. I like Resident Evil games a lot. There was nothing. I didn't sit down and like study it, like the way that I did with Metal Gear. Like with the timeline.
By the way, yes, Silent Hamster did include the CGI movies because those are canon. Like it went through the entire chronology. It's a great video.
That's what I'm saying. There's so many more outside media where I wanted to learn and get a better idea of it. Where I was going like I have no interest in the CGI movies or the So it was like that was very helpful to me. So am I going to be playing the new Resident Evil game? Absolutely. But I at least I understand where the series is and where it's going. If you're not willing to put that effort in, well, then shame on you.
Right, as a fan, that's worrisome to me. It's like, as someone who's been following this story since 1998, that's when I started playing it. The first game came out in 96. I didn't play it in 96, but I played the first one in fucking 98, and I've been playing them ever since. And if we are now in 2025, the game's coming out in 2026. If you're telling me this series that I've been following since 1998, I'm going to be able to just play this game and the story is more or less inconsequential because you're also making it for new players. What incentive is there for me to play this? It's like, okay, so if this works as a standalone, why should I believe that it is worth my time after investing 20 plus years or almost 20 years of my life into this? Almost 30 years of my life into
it. Sounds like the only lore breaks are going to be Easter eggs, and it was like, where's the fun in that? Or they're just saying, hey, this is kind of a return to form, like we're going back to Raccoon City. If you're a new player, this might be like the game for you to jump in simply because it's the first setting, something like that. Maybe it's. Maybe
that mentality has no place here because okay, so when Stan Lee used to I'm saying when Stan Lee would like bring stories in to try and attract new people, that's because people couldn't catch up with older comic books that were harder to get a hold of back in the day. You only had word of mouth, but now we're in an era where you have established fans. Why are you not catering to them instead? You don't need to bring in the new ones because the fans will help you bring them in.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. I was like, it was so different from what Stan was talking about, where Stan was talking about that at a time where there weren't even comic book shops. There was no resale. You know what I mean? It was like you either found that or like you were at like some sheeny lady's house or you went to a garage sale and you were able to find some fucking back issues. there's a Leon said it. There's a Wikipedia for everything. There is instructional videos. Yes. Ooh, but
So we'll finish out the article. The guy says this is the author. I know that this is language from a developer selling a product who doesn't want to alienate prospective buyers who may not have played all the other games in the franchise. But reading this gave me some pause for concern. And then quote from the developer: "If you're a fan and you see all the connections and the lore links and the background hints and stuff, I think you'll enjoy it 150%.
Okay.
And they'll give you that extra level of detail. We don't want to make it so that you have to know about the incident and understand the relationship between that timeline in order to understand the game." What are you talking about? You're going back first of all, the game. They shouldn't even be going back to Raccoon City. But again, I've touched on that in videos. You guys can check them out.
Yeah.
In actual real life, Capcom hasn't touched Raccoon City since like 2001. That was the last time they made a game that was canon that had to do with Raccoon City. So yeah, if you're coming back to Raccoon City in 2020 fucking 6, yeah, no, that game should very much be heavily reliant on people need to know what happened in 98 or 96 through 2001.
Yeah.
Was there anything else I had highlighted in this? No, that's pretty much it. But yeah, I'm so disheartened because there's rumors and rumblings that this is the end cap of the franchise. Basically, after Resident Evil 9, it's not getting shelved. The shit makes money, but it's probably getting rebooted. I don't know if there's any weight to those rumors or not, but at the end of the day, see, that's a retcon. It was blown up, but in this, in Resident Evil 9, Tiger King, it wasn't completely blown up. There's actually ruins and remnants of the city. Really? We haven't heard about these ruins and remnants for the last 30 fucking years. But anyway, that's diatribe. Point is, what was I even saying?
So they ended it at 10 and not 11.
Because for me as a fan that's been following this franchise for years and years and years, and now it's like, if this is the end cap, if this is supposed to be, if the rumors are true, that this is the last game in the storyline, and you've made it to where it really doesn't matter for those of us that have been following this for 30 years.
Yeah.
Fucking why, dude? Fucking why?
I think
By the way, there's still characters with unresolved plot lines and character arcs from several. Where's the resolution for Jill's character or Chris's character? Or we got resolution for Claire's character. Then they brought her character back to give her new shit. And now there's no resolution for that when you should have retired her after degeneration. But that's neither here nor there. So where's the end cap for Carlos, Rebecca, Billy Cohen, who was only ever in one fucking game? Carlos was only in one game. Like, there's unresolved plot lines for your existing main cast, and you're bringing in a new character no one's ever heard of. What?
Yeah, I'll look at this number real quick for you guys. That remember when Elden Ring came out? Certain journalists were bitching, game was too hard, no story mode, no developer mode, and Elden Ring's too hard for some people. Elden Ring sold 30 million fucking copies. So anybody bitching, I can't play this game, it's too fucking hard. Listen to the numbers, not the people on social media. 30 million fucking copies for a game that's too hard.
Oh not Elden Ring sold that many copies. That's insane.
Okay,
final thoughts before we hit super chats and go to our next topic.
They should stop hiring these analysts because clearly they're not doing their job properly.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't even think it's the analysts any. The guy that the main man from Resident Evil left after Resident Evil 4, and 5 and onward has been a new director. And I honestly, look, I like 5. I do. Frankly, I like 7 as well. But you could tell the series is not what it was after 4, and it's because Shinji Mikami left. By the way, Shinji Mikami left, and what he put out afterwards, The Evil Within 1 and 2, which are better Resident Evil games than almost any other modern Resident Evil game.
Oh, that explains why they were good.
Yeah.
But like you said, the things, but so far, but no Resident Evil game has no main game has bombed. I mean, you can be divisive, but even 5 and 6 sold like 15, 16 million copies. You can hate 6, but it's a financial success.
Yeah, no, at the time 6 came out, it was their highest selling game.
Yeah,
at the time 5 came out, 5 was the highest selling game. Like, I think when Resident Evil 2 remake came out, it was the highest selling game. They've only gotten bigger and bigger, and guess what? Those were like 6 was it was hated by the fans. But it was the highest selling when it came out.
Everyone hated it, but they kept buying it though.
I agree with Tiger King 100% here. Like Shinji Mikami is my favorite video game creator of all time, and with him gone, it means nothing. And by the way, he's released beautiful games since then. Not only did he do Evil Within 1 and 2, he also did what was the name of that fucking game where you fight in time with the music? It's like a cel-shaded anime style game. I'm blanking on the name of it. Point is, it was really good. It's bothering me. But anyway, let's hit some supers and we'll move on to the next one. So we got, let's see.
Elden Ring peeps.
Here it is. You thank me now. You thank me. How dare you? 10 lashes. Red French Moon for a 5-banger says, call me a snob, but Tori should just stay in their K-pop Demon Hunter lane, enjoy it, and leave anime and manga alone. It was successful without them. I agree with this entirely, and I also love K-pop Demon Hunters. I thought K-pop Demon Hunters was fucking incredible.
I liked it too.
Red French Moon for another 5-banger. It's not Raccoon City, it's Reindeer City. A chopper joke. Base One Piece reference. Base One Piece reference. All right, let's see. You know what? Since I'm supposed to be getting lashes, this is for you guys. Thank you very much.
You should have.
Oh yeah, Leon definitely got jungle fever.
Good dark meat. I like dark meat.
Leon definitely has jungle fever. Yeah.
Yeah, nice dark meat.
40 lashes for the monkey lover.
Alrighty, let's. You know what? I think. Look, I was trying to hold off on this topic in case we had someone else hop in, but I don't think there's any way around it. We got to discuss this. We're not gonna go through the whole article on this one because I'm pretty sure everyone knows what went down. And if not, I can just give you the clip notes version.
God.
But EA announces unprecedented $55 billion sale to Saudi Arabia, Jared Kushner's private equity group, and others. EA Games was sold to a Saudi Arabian investment firm, and it is they are taking the company private. It has been public for God knows how many years. This is in American history the largest sale ever done from a company going public to private.
When I hear numbers like 55 billion, I'm like, what?
Yeah. What does that mean exactly?
Yeah, it's what? 50 billion fucking dollars.
I like what does this mean for the future of the gaming industry? Like, again, this is the largest public to private sale in American history, and it's being done in the video game industry.
What EA games are selling this well where they warranted $50 billion?
Madden, FIFA. I mean, the sports games that come out every year.
Well, I mean, I know
it's got to be for FIFA, right?
Look, I'll give you the sales. I'm looking them up.
It's got to be for FIFA.
Keep going.
EA does the Star Wars games. At least they do some of the Star Wars games. Let's see what else have they done. EA has done a bunch of. They at one point did the Harry Potter games. I don't really know if they make Harry Potter games anymore besides Hogwarts Legacy, but EA is. I'm blanking on games they've done as well now. Shit. I keep thinking of Ubisoft games.
I mean, in January, EA actually lowered its revenue projections, and they were underperforming.
Hi-Fi Rush. Thank you, Cindy. Sorry, go on. Was that Blue?
But also, yeah, according to this is saying that EA actually lowered their projections in 2025, and EA Sports is being a major factor. But their stock went down this year. I mean, in 2025, I guess is what they're selling it for, but they're not selling that great.
I mean, they're clearly selling well enough to get the biggest sale in the history. The biggest public to private sale in American history. But really, the question is, if this is happening and it's being sold to the Saudis, what implications does that have on?
Yeah,
I mean, not just the gaming culture, but really culture at large.
Well, I think in the next Star Wars Battlefields game, Rey's going to be wearing a hijab.
Activision didn't go private, Paper Moose. Sorry, what were you saying, Sammy?
Said in the next Star Wars Battlefields game, Rey's probably going to be wearing a hijab. No, I truly think this is for FIFA. In FIFA alone, I don't think they give a shit about any other property.
Okay.
Soccer worldwide is, the biggest sport. That FIFA is the premier game of that. Dude, there are some crazy rich people in Saudi Arabia. Some guy just wanted to own FIFA. That's really what it kind of boiled down to.
I was saying EA doesn't have FIFA. Hold on, is that correct? Hold on,
so
let me fact check that.
It's FIFA. It's FC25. That's what it's called, because according to this, they're saying that in Europe is the highest selling game in 2024, and also this is saying that EA Sports FC 25 sold 19 million copies. And
Yes, it is. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. FIFA is in fact owned by EA Sports. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I was gonna say, I was like worldwide, dude. Like,
so FIFA is
that's
no
the biggest.
FIFA is huge, but their other brands though aren't selling. But so FIFA is definitely EA's brand.
Yeah, well, it was. Well, for a while they were the premier sports. I mean, even they also have Madden. I mean, even
The
back
Madden,
to like
didn't they have MLB?
I
Like,
remember
I'm pretty sure-
putting Madden 95 into my Sega Genesis, and as soon as I heard EA Sports, it's in the game. We're like, wow, dude, that sounds fucking awesome. Well, like they were the premier sports company for video games. I don't think we're gonna see too much changes here. Besides,
by the way, The Sims is fucking huge.
oh, that's true.
Yeah, and they own The Sims.
Paul
Again,
said-
yeah, Battlefield. Oh wait,
Okay.
Dragon Age and Mass Effect. That's EA. Dragon Age and Mass
forgot-
Effect.
I forgot a Stellar Blade was EA. Stellar Blade. I bought Stellar Blade.
No, Stellar Blade shift up.
Yeah.
Why is it on there?
Stellar Blade is the Korean company shift up. EA may have distributed it or something like that,
yeah.
but they don't own it.
Okay.
But
Paper Moose came back with saying that FIFA is not EA. It's not got the FIFA license. It's called FC 26 now.
Okay, yeah. I mean, but even Death Stranding 2 was still sold pretty well for EA. I mean, like.
So point is, I think you guys. The reason I'm bringing this up, I think you guys are thinking too small scale in terms of like, oh, this for this game, it's for this game. No. If you look at the history of Saudi Arabia, and I was talking about this on SNH. In 2018, in 2017, Mohammed Sim, what's his name? The crown prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salim, he started instituting the right for women to drive. He also started a massive program called Tourism 2030, where he wants to add 1.3 million tourism jobs. He wants Saudi Arabia to be the tourism capital of the world. They're building the very first ever exclusively Dragon Ball theme park in Saudi Arabia. They bought out the WWE. I think it's the most expensive sports entertainment in the world. I think the WWE is actually worth more even than the NFL. So with them also getting into they own Evo, the ultimate fighting tournament, like the biggest fighting tournament of all fighting games ever. The Saudis own that. I think that this is Saudi Arabia trying to usurp American culture. They're buying up things like WWE, these not just American culture, by the way, just culture in general, but WWE, Dragon Ball theme park, increasing tourism, going progressive enough to let women drive so that people want to come there because they're not a backwards country anymore. Buying these video game things, like to me, this reeks of they want pop culture control, because if you control the culture, what do we always say? Politics is downstream from culture. This will make them a cultural powerhouse.
Yeah.
I mean, that's hard to argue with.
I mean, if you guys have other theories as to why it is, let me know. But to me, that is the sole reason the Saudis are doing this. I don't think they give a fuck about video games. No. I think they give a fuck about controlling the culture around video games and by proxy culture of everything else. Because remember, video games are the highest selling entertainment medium in the world. It's the biggest entertainment industry in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. And those people said with GTA, I mean, Christ, but we see numbers for GTA 5. It hurts my brain. And just knowing how much GTA 6 is going to sell, it's shit.
Hopefully it comes out by the time I retire.
I mean, I see a lot of people celebrating this because they're like, oh, good, because the Saudi Arabia's base, we're not going to have woke games anymore. I'm like, I won't lie. That's not a good enough reason for me. I would rather us have shitty woke games that don't sell than our culture be usurped by the Middle East.
Yeah, I'm always skeptical of the Middle East. I will say I do like Prince, whatever his name is.
Prince Aladdin.
Mohammed bin Salim.
Aladdin.
Bless you. But no, I also I'm always skeptic of any Islamic culture I don't think it blends well with the West. And if you're trying to basically go in and conglomerize like basically all of these aspects of Western culture, I'm skeptic to say the least. I don't want to sound
Islamophobic. I don't give a fuck. Sounds Islamophobic.
Yeah, I don't like it. I feel like that's what they do is they infiltrate and then they overrun and then they
Correct.
overturn. Okay, they've tried it. There's a reason that no one in Egypt lets these refugees from Gaza come in, is because they tried that once and like it didn't go well. There's a reason that people are freaking the fuck out. Like I live a stone throw away from Dearborn, Michigan, and that's the highest concentration of Middle Eastern people outside of the Middle East. People don't like it, and people don't like it. It's not the people who are around it. Like me, I go, hey, it was like, hey, we got Mexican town over there. There's where the fucking Hebes live. This is where like. It is where it is. But
Cindy, bring up Red French Moon's comment, please.
Where's it at? Okay. Whoop.
Devil's advocate. China did a good job of Marvel Rivals, maybe the Saudis will too. Here's the dealio. I'm not worried about the quality of the games. I don't doubt that the games will still have good quality and whatnot. In fact, probably better quality than what we're getting out of the West. The question is, at what cost? Is better quality video games worth the usurping of American culture? And I don't think it is for for Saudi and the EA, and I don't think it is for China either. Like I make jokes that, if we're gonna have communists make our video games, I'd rather be communists making good ones, so China instead of the blue hair feminists. But those are jokes. I don't actually believe that. I don't like the idea of China and Tencent and whatnot being these gaming powerhouses, making all this money and all of the wealth that could be here in America if we could get our shit together, going to China after, let's be real, so many of the reasons for the infestation of woke culture was China feeding that. Was China feeding that to us through whether it be through bot farms, through the algorithm, things like TikTok. I mean, China is a huge part of why America is woke. It was an infiltration tactic. It was a brainwashing tactic. Digital warfare, basically. So no, I would rather dog shit games that no one buys than these cultures, come in and take what was once ours. Even if they're going to do it better, I don't want them to have it because that's ceding control to them, and I don't want to cede control to them.
I mean, I think like because we're looking at EA sports games, Madden, NBA 2K, we have FIFA. I mean, how much ideology can you put into a fucking soccer game?
You'd be surprised.
I mean,
like I said, you'd be surprised with anything that they do because what I said, they infiltrate, they take over, and then they change everything about it. And it's not so much the video games that I'm worried about. It's everything else, like what we're seeing in Europe, what we're seeing all over the map. I just found out the other day that 49% of all the countries in the UN are now like Islamist like countries. It was like, I feel like this is part of a bigger agenda here. Now, granted, Trump has a really, really great relationship with the prince.
Yes, he does. Yes, and in fact, not even that. Saudi Arabia has been technically our ally since between Desert Storm and 9/11, depending on how you want to define ally. Post Desert Storm into like 9/11. So the question becomes, and to me this is an apolitical question because I don't think it matters who the fuck is in charge in terms of what party's in charge. Why on God's green earth would the American government allow the largest public to private sale in the history of our country and allow it to go to the Saudis? Like, what can you give me any justifiable reason our government would allow that? Because I fucking can't.
I mean, 55 billion is a big number.
55, not when you're talking on a government talk. It was like these people talk trillions on the daily.
Yeah.
When you're thinking about that, it seems like this is the best way to get a certain ideology into many American households as possible. I don't like it.
It's scary.
It wasn't born out of Western University, and it's not a self-inflicted wound. It was inserted into the university system via the Russians and other communist countries as well, dating all the way back to the 40s. You look up Yuri
McCarthy
Bezmenov.
couldn't have been more right. It's fucking actually people write him off like he was crazy. He couldn't have been more correct about communism.
McCarthy.
Yeah, McCarthy could not have been more right. Okay, it was like, oh my God, oh this person, and then he got blacklisted and he couldn't have made this movie. Good, because apparently they're everywhere. Okay, just take a look what's going on in Portland right now, and tell me that there's not a problem with communism in this country. Okay, it's absurd that we've given these people as much leeway as we have. The problem is we're empathetic to a suicidal point at the.
I agree it's a problem, but I think that your diagnosis is wrong. What I think it is, and I'm just repeating myself from SNH because what I said on SNH as well. What I think the problem is that all the top dogs here in the U.S., whether they be in the government, whether they be big businessmen, whatever, they're going to get their payday and they're going to be fine. So them selling off our country and our assets and our culture, they're hurting us, but they'll be okay. They got millions and billions. They're gonna be all right. So they don't care that they're selling our birthright.
I mean, that's why they're pushing back so hard on Trump and why they hate Trump so much, because he wants to bring back American values.
I don't in this instance, and again, I like Trump, but I can't agree with that, because if that was the case, Trump could have done something to block the sale.
I'm not saying he is. I'm saying that's why, or what? I'm not saying he didn't. I'm saying that's why they hate him so much, because he's at least talking about American values again, something that we actually lost.
Yeah.
No, I think you guys are looking at small picture here. I mean, this is something that we've seen over the years more and more and more with this indoctrination of where we have certain ideals and certain people of a certain persuasion, I mean leftists, they've taken over education, they've taken over news media. So any way that people are getting information, anybody who has had a alternative opinion has been bastardized and even called out, and he's even been basically saying like what's his face, Gavin Newsom just called who's that bald guy who spoke at Charlie Kirk's funeral? He's on Trump's he's in Trump's cabinet. Blatantly just said this guy's a fascist. I take that as a call to violence, because you know what? We've gotten to this point in our country where now if someone told me that a group of Nazis were down the street and they were trying to take over, the first thing I probably do is grab my gun. But we have a bunch of crazy people who now think that if you're guilty of wrongthink, which is very Orwellian, that they have the right to now go out and kill you. So
while I agree with all that, I don't think that relates to this, though. I think this is something entirely different. I think that, because I mean, if that was the case, because again, like, Saudi Arabia is not a
hold on.
country.
Let me finish. Let me tell you why.
Oh.
One of the reasons that they're doing this and are able to do this is because we have a certain entire side of a political spectrum that are willing to sell off not only our history, our culture, they're willing to sell it off to the highest bidder. And they don't care because they hate everything about this country. I
don't think it's one. I think it's uniparty. I 100% think it's a uniparty thing. Now this is career bureaucrats and politicians and businesses on
that might be so.
On both sides. I 100% think this is a uniparty thing, because again, and Look, this might be me being conspiracy minded. I know it's not Sinful Haters, so you guys are getting a little extra tonight. But no, I think that the left-right dichotomy is 100% engineered by a uniparty to keep us fighting each other. That way we don't question things like why a $55 billion sale is being done to a magnitude that's never happened before.
No, I think it boils down to something way more generic than that. There's good and there's evil. And a lot of evil people are selling our culture away so we can be manipulated further, or they're telling us to openly attack people who are law enforcement officers, or telling you that if you don't go with the program that you're a Nazi. I have a huge problem with that, and it really does come up to people who are independent from that spectrum to sit back and go hey, no, I think that there's a problem here.
Hold on. A new challenger is entered. All right, Serranos, give us your take. I know you hopped in here to give us a hot take. Let's do it. Let's hear it.
I think Leon's wrong. That's my hot take. But I didn't actually have too much of a thought about this. It's more so that EA was kind of on... It didn't really have anywhere to go. EA has a strong basis in the sports franchises, and what was... It owns Call of Duty. Or
the Sims is the other one.
It owns Battlefield and Sims, yeah.
Battlefield, the Sims, Mass Effect, all that, yeah.
Yeah, it has some presence in the mobile market, but they've been trying to get a lot more presence in the mobile market. Otherwise, it doesn't have a lot of room for growth because Sony and Nintendo doesn't have any strong franchises that are. I was gonna say strong franchises are very stable. It doesn't have any first-party titles that are have more variety to them.
Well, so why is Saudi Arabia? Why go from public to private, and why this large of a price tag?
I think video game companies have a very good reason to be going to private, but I'm not sure it really makes sense for EA. EA is actually the ultimate public company. It does everything investors want because their growth is primarily based on effectively subscriptions because their sports sales thrive off microtransactions, which are recurring enough that's basically a subscription, because they have yearly titles.
Well, Hypno was saying on SNH exactly that EA was one of the only companies, love them or hate them, because frankly, EA is a dog shit company. Yeah. But EA is one of the only companies that said, it might be the only company that straight up said, no, we're not raising our games beyond $60. We make enough money off microtransactions, we don't have to. When every other company is going 70 and 80, EA is no, we'll say it's 60. You guys buy all the microtransactions, so we're good. Also,
they sell new games every year. They have guaranteed sales, basically, for the people who buy their sports games. One thing is Saudi Arabia, the whole Middle East loves football. They love soccer. They love the EA football game. It sells a lot out there, so that's another thing for them. It markets to their demographic. And Saudi Arabia, generally, they're just been the past 20 years. They've been really trying to diversify. Once they've been getting more integrated with the U.S. economy, they've been trying to diversify outside of oil because they know eventually other places are going to catch up to them in oil, and they're just going to end up.
Yeah, Russia and the U.S. could both catch up to them, but it's beyond the diversification. They've also been at a snail's pace, but still nonetheless going more, at least compared to other Middle Eastern companies, in a more progressive route.
Yeah, they've been progressivizing, I guess you could say, their country. Yeah,
I mean, I don't like using the term progressive considering what the connotation has nowadays, but compared to other Middle Eastern countries, they are actually the more progressive of all of them. So it's again, but how can you explain any of that beyond it being a power play? To me, that's the only conclusion that makes sense considering all of the diversification, and it's all from Western, from Western culture.
Yeah, it feels like they just want to become more ingratiated, more tied in with the West because Iran is tied in with China and Russia. I guess it's because Iran's their enemy.
That could be part of it. Well, final thoughts on this before we move into, because it's in the title. I want to get the J.K. Rowling stuff. I know we got Nick stream soon. Yeah. We might run a little over. Cindy, if you end up having to leave, that's fair. I'll write it in Nick afterwards. But yeah, no, I want to get into the J.K. Rowling stuff, and there's one other thing I want to touch on. So we have any final thoughts on the EA?
I mean, nobody here cares about EA. Now, if these guys take Capcom and make Dante trans, I'm fucking riding.
I don't think Saudi Arabia would do that.
You never know.
Yeah, Saudi Arabia, you're right. They're again. I know a lot of people are saying, "Hey, at least the games are going to be woke." Just to me, that's That's not good enough.
I'll say I hope I'm wrong.
And yeah, reference Moon. Yes, Saudi Arabia, the progressive route, like literally by definition. So they went from literal decades of women not being allowed to drive to now women can drive. That is the definition of progress. That is more progressive. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, again, whether it be in the most incremental of movements or not, that is still progressive by definition.
Yeah, like I said, I hope I'm wrong. I truly do.
But Leon, be honest, do you really trust women drivers?
It's not that I trust women drivers, it's that I don't know what I trust more, women drivers or Muslims, because both are very low on the list.
Actually, I made
Muslim women drivers.
Asian women drivers.
I made a comment on Twitter today that I was really proud of. It was like, this lady was like, you know, I never had a problem with like blacks or Middle Eastern people or whatever. I have a problem with the guy who's got the MAGA bumper sticker on his car. And I responded like, bitch, I don't know how much you've driven, but like the problem is Asians if we're coming down to driving.
Yeah. They have trouble seeing.
Yeah. You know.
All
right, well,
she looks like a goblin.
Yeah. She's cool. She's based.
That doesn't make her look less like a goblin.
We're gonna watch this clip and then we're gonna go over J.K. Rowling's response because for those of you who haven't seen it, holy shit! All right, so this is a little over a minute, so just bear with us.
Well, I'd like to think so, and I think there are some other positive signs too that things are shifting. When you see the media starting to say trans women are men, then I think we really are winning. But Emma Watson was careful, wasn't she, not to go too far. I think what she's going to find now is you can't sit on the fence. She was a real cheerleader for Mermaids, the charity, and for transitioning children and for people knowing who they are.
There's also kind of there's that clip of her at the BAFTAs, and it was just kind of like a really snidey, there's that bit where she says, I'm here for all the witch, like, but one. Yeah, it was just nasty.
Yeah.
When J.K. Rowling was getting a lot of rape threats, death threats.
I was going to...
Make it quick, this is the meat.
No, pause it next time where it goes on her face.
Whether she is trying to row back from
Holy Diver.
Okay, that was
wholehearted support for transitioning children, or whether she's just trying to get back in with J.K. Rowling in the hope of work. Who knows? Richard Dawkins is an interesting case because, you know, I'm sure when he wrote The God Delusion, he thought that was quite out there. It turns out that saying men can't become women is even more out there. And who would have thought that? But he is someone whose career is so established that he's not at any risk. The real win is when ordinary people can say those things. And I don't think we're quite there yet.
All right. So that was, of course, in reference to Emma Watson, the things she said about J.K. Rowling. We are going to read this entire thing. I'm seeing quite a bit of a comment about this, so I want to make a couple of points. I'm not owed eternal agreement from any actor who once played a character I created. The idea is as ludicrous as me checking with a boss I had when I was 21 for what opinions I should hold these days. Emma Watson and her co-stars have every right to embrace gender identity ideology. Such beliefs are legally protected, and I wouldn't want to see any of them threatened with loss of work or violence or death because of them. However, Emma and Dan in particular have both made it clear over the last few years that they think our former professional association gives them a particular right, nay, obligation, to critique me and my views in public. Years after they finished acting in Potter, they continue to assume the role of de facto spokespeople for the world I created. When you've known people since they were 10 years old, it's hard to shake a certain protectiveness. Until quite recently, I hadn't managed to throw off the memory of the children who need to be gently coaxed through their dialogue in a big, scary film studio. For the past few years, I've repeatedly declined invitations from journalists to comment on Emma specifically, most notably on the witch trials of J.K. Rowling. Ironically, I told the producers that I didn't want her to be hounded as the result of anything I said. The television presenter in the attached clip highlights Emma's all witches speech, and in truth, that was a turning point for me. But it had it had a postscript that hurt far more than the speech itself. Emma asked someone to pass on a handwritten note from her to me, which contained the single sentence, "I'm so sorry for what you're going through." She has my phone number. This was back when the death, rape, and torture threats against me were at their peak, at a time when my personal security measures had to be tightened considerably, and I was constantly worried for my family's safety. Emma had just publicly poured more petrol on the flames, yet through a one-line expression of concern from her would reassure me of her fundamental sympathy and kindness. Like other people who've never experienced adult life uncushioned by wealth and fame, Emma has so little experience of real life that she's ignorant of how ignorant she is. She'll never need a homeless shelter. She's never going to be placed on a mixed-sex public hospital ward. I'd be astounded if she's even in a high street changing room She's been in a high street changing room since childhood. Her public bathroom is a single occupancy and comes with a security man standing guard outside the door. She had to strip off in newly mixed changing room at a council-run swimming pool? Is she ever likely to need a state-run rape crisis center that refuses to guarantee an all-female service? To find herself sharing a prison cell with a male rapist who's identified into the women's prison? I wasn't a multimillionaire at 14. I lived in poverty while writing the book that made Emma famous. I therefore understand from my own life experience that what the trashing of women's rights in which Emma has so enthusiastically participated means to women and girls without her privileges. The greatest irony here is that had Emma not declined in her most recent interview to declare that she loves and treasures me, a change of tack I suspect she's adopted because she's noticed full-throated condemnation of me is no longer quite as fashionable as it was, I might have never been this honest. Adults can expect to cozy up to an activist movement that regularly calls for a friend's assassination, then assert their right to the former friend's love, as though that friend was in fact their mother. Emma is rightly free to disagree with me and indeed to discuss her feelings about me in public, but I had the same right, and I finally decided to exercise it.
Damn, drop
God
that
damn.
mic.
It's just like,
whew.
She spiked that mic on top of Emma.
And just real quick, anybody can read New York Post articles or any articles. There have been plenty of situations where men are in women's prisons. They've done SA to So she's 100% fucking right. Men that think they're fucking women have definitely been into women's prisons and definitely fucked up women. So she's not fucking wrong. It happens pretty often, actually.
Dude, go for it, Sammy.
I was gonna say
I was just saying, like, it's like the surfer bro in me, like, no, dude, like, no, like, oh my god, like, bro, like, this fucking this is fucking insane. And you know what? Good for her for finally having the balls, because Dan Radlick and Emma Watson have like kowtowed to this conformist bullshit when this woman not only like nurtured their careers, like wrote things in her books to try and like forward things to like help them in their careers. Like she said, it was like, I've known these kids since I was 10 years old, and they shunned her. And it was like the shit she said about the note. Yeah, eventually, fuck these kids. I'll tell you this right now. I had a crush on Emma Watson, like most of my adult, like we were about the same. I wouldn't fuck Emma Watson with a stolen dick. Okay, like Emma Watson is a horrible person. Emma Watson, says she's a mouthpiece, and you know what? She shits all over J.K. Rowling when really that's the only reason that she's fucking famous. She's not a particularly great actress. She hasn't done anything. I would say out of all of them, I would say Daniel Radcliffe has probably actually went out there and at least tried to like break the stigma of where actually Daniel Radcliffe has some kick-ass movies. Guns
Akimbo.
Guns that was the one I was trying to think of. I was like, when you think that the 10-year-old boy who played Harry Potter did Guns Akimbo, so much fucking respect. But you know what? There's also a thing called loyalty and friendship, where all of these people who, even though they disagreed, they could have gone out and said, like, listen, I know J.K. Rowling. And keep in mind, this is someone who on the liberal spectrum is like, says 99.9% of the right talking points and has placated to these people and played with the fire that is liberalism for years and years and years, where it used to be like an on-running joke where they're like, no one's paying attention to me. Dumbledore was gay. Neville was trans. Hagrid was non-binary. Is everyone paying attention to me? And like, we would joke about that because that's the type of shit that she was doing. The second that she got into the one thing that they disagreed with, these two little assholes, and probably more of them, but especially these two, instead of going like, listen, this is my friend, this person helped me build my career and help make a world that like the world has embraced and thinks like it's one of the most wonderful fictional fantasy worlds, countless, there's theme parks, video games, everything around this. Instead of standing by this person, no, they labeled her a monster like everybody else. So you know what?
Yeah.
What now that fad has ended, I'm glad that she's going like, you know what? You can step aside, because you know what's happening next year? The new Harry Potter series. Everybody's gonna fucking forget about you, and everybody's gonna talk. And you know what? I'm sure. JK would say like, oh, it would be really good. I liked how this actor did it, but no one's gonna add to the magic the way that Daniel Radcliffe did it. You're not gonna get anything like that anymore, because you sold this woman up the river, and you know what? This woman just happens to be a fucking billionaire, and you know, so you reap what you fucking sow. Sorry.
Exactly.
I was just gonna say is I don't think there's any author that came after J.K. Rowling who's gotten famous for anything except for exploiting her own sexual fantasies.
J.K.
Rowling is the last one.
You're gonna need to repeat that. I had to play the level complete jingle from Sonic the Hedgehog after that. After that, massive level up there. But sorry, say that again, Serranos.
I think J.K. Rowling is the last female author to become famous for anything but exploiting her own sexual fantasies.
That's so true.
Right.
Yeah.
That entire tweet, I just want to emphasize, certain people wouldn't agree with this, but JK right there says that Emma Watson and her co-stars have every right to embrace gender identity ideology. Such beliefs are protected. I wouldn't want to see any of them threatened with loss of work, violence, or death. How many people say that on a certain section, right? That we people have seen fucking Charlie Kirk get killed because of his fucking beliefs. She's saying, hey guys, I don't want to see anybody get hurt because of their beliefs. I disagree with you, but I don't want to see you get hurt or lose your job.
Well, they're not even giving her the same luxury.
Exactly.
That's what
No,
I was
they
about to
never
would. Go for it, Cindy. You've been awful quiet. Go for it.
Oh no, I said they never would. Although I could be wrong about this, but Tony had said that Jason Isaac was one of the people who spoke like poorly about JK, and I'm pretty sure he refused to.
I don't know what Jason Isaacs did or didn't say. I know that what's his name? Tommy Coltrane, the guy that played Hagrid, refused to. And Tom Felton, the guy that played Malfoy, refused to. In fact,
Which is crazy.
The bad guy, Tom fucking Draco Malfoy is really the good guy. But no, he's actually, if the rumors are true, he's dropped hints that he's actually working with JK on the new show behind the scenes. He's not going to be in it, but he's helping her. He's doing back end stuff with her.
I would have loved to see him play Lucius Malfoy.
Wouldn't that be interesting? But yeah, I think they don't want to bring back any of the old actors. But yeah, I'd make an exception since he stuck by her. And I've been waiting for a moment like this, and it's not even what JK said that really has me giddy. It's Emma's response, because she has to do one of two things. She has to respond, and she has to make a spectacle of this, or she says nothing. And if she says nothing, that's both better and worse, because it's better for her to say nothing and that, like, look, you just this is a fight you can't win. But it's worse for her because we all know that means you just lost. They're like, I want to know what Emma Watson does now, because this has gone mega viral. There's been it's one thing for culture war podcasts and shows like us to talk about it. Geeks and Gamers talked about it. Bro, this has been covered. Like I saw I think it was like Australian Sky News or something was covering this tweet. You've got news agencies covering J.K. Rowling going scorched earth on Emma Watson. There's got to be a fallout here, and I can't fucking wait for it.
Best thing she can do,
expressly personal, right? Because like she's talking about, she's known them since they were kids. This is very personal. She gave them their careers.
She,
best
no,
thing she can do is apologize.
Hold on, Sammy. Let's just
Best
because Cindy's going to bounce soon. You go for it,
Oh,
Cindy.
no, I think it's wild that she waited this long, and because of the fact that she just really loved these kids, and that's all she could see. I can understand where she's coming from. You know, you show all this love and consideration to these kids, and all of a sudden they're saying something awful about you repeatedly, and you're just like, wait a fucking minute, how do I respond to this? And then finally she hit that tipping point. That's nuts. Like,
Now,
and I
well-
know she's a crazy liberal.
Yeah,
Mhm.
she is.
Yeah,
Again, like people
they
know
both
she's
are.
gay. She's not what knows she is. What were you gonna say, Sammy?
Oh, I said the best thing that she could do, honestly, Emma Watson, is come out with a little humility and go, you know what? There's a lot of things that you said in that were true. Like I've lived a very privileged life since I was 10 years old, and I've let a lot of political things that I believe in overshadow the fact that you and I are friends, and I have literally denounced you when I've known you longer than I've been able to drink or drive or do just come back with something wholehearted and just like be a person for a second. And you know what? I think a lot of people would be willing to forgive her. That's not what's going to happen. She's
I was
going
gonna say, you realize that you said earlier that you wouldn't even fuck Emma Watson with a stolen dick. There's a better chance of you fucking Emma Watson with a stolen dick than that happening. Like,
yeah, no, but I'm saying if this was, I don't know, as a human being, and now it can be easier for her because the tide's turning, right? Like the pendulum going the other.
Exactly.
This would be a great way to get on top of that and go, you know what? You're right. I was being a fucking asshole back there. That's all you have to do, and she's not going to do it, and it's going to kill her. It's going to kill her. It's going not. It figured, but I'm saying
career wise,
people are gonna see that and go like, well, like this bitch is brainwashed and she's not gonna do it. This person, everything that J.K. Rowling just said was out of common sense. Okay, like
I'm gonna be real, dude. I think that Rupert Grint read this tweet and went, "Oh, thank God."
Yeah,
at least it wasn't me.
And he's been getting work.
I was gonna say, J.K. Rowling, she's set for like 4 or 5 lifetimes. How soon before Emma Watson's doing OnlyFans?
Right. Dude, people don't realize J.K. Rowling had more money than the Queen of England. I assume she still does, but like when the Queen of England was they were alive, J.K. Rowling was richer than the
alive.
Well, at one point, Leon, J.K. was a billionaire, and she donated so much money to a women's rape crisis and women's homelessness and things like that, where she went down to like 700 million. But she was the first woman billionaire, and she's giving away so much fucking money. Like,
like a true advocate to women.
So so she may have some weird. Sorry, Sammy.
No, go. I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah.
Like a true women's advocate.
She may, as like Cindy said, she may in some ways be a crazy liberal, but J.K. Rowling has given away hundreds of millions of dollars to charity. Like, it's hard for me to hate her when she's doing a lot of good with her money, unlike a lot of billionaires who won't give fucking $5 to a homeless guy. This woman's giving away half her fucking fortune to women in rape crisis, and she has all these different clinics that are free to women. Like, I can't hit her.
Yeah, Emma Watson has always had the opportunity to turn back on what she said and just recant what she's done, but she's not capable of it.
Yeah, no, that's
by that same metric. And Cindy, I'll let you go after this. By that same metric, J.K. Rowling has as well. If she's had every opportunity to capitulate to the woke mob and be like, okay, you're right, I'm sorry, whatnot, because she wants her books to sell, she wants money, whatnot. At no point has she is doubled, tripled, quadrupled. She is Googled down. By the way, Google, guys, that's one with 100 zeros behind it. She has Googled down on this shit. But that being said, we have one more topic I want to hit before we go. At least one more, maybe two, depending on how long everyone wants to stay. But Cindy got to go. Frankly, I have to go as well, but I'll be a little bit late next show. It's fine. Tell people who you are, what you do, what you got coming up, the whole nine, girly.
Hey guys, I'm Cinevere. You guys can find me on all platforms as Cinevere. I like to talk about anime and gaming, and I can't wait to see all you cuties soon. So as soon as this show is done, make sure you guys hop on over to the Plot Strikes Back's channel, where we're talking about Demolition Man. And then at midnight tonight, I will be streaming on my own channel. I don't know what I'm doing yet, but why don't you come find out, won't you? I'll see you all soon.
Bingo, bango, bong. You love to see it. Thank you so much. Now I gotta press buttons myself, so that fucking sucks. But oh
Lazy
well.
son of a
Catch you later, Cindy. Tell Nick
Bye,
that I'll be
guys.
there soon. Once the stream wraps, I'll
Yeah.
raid into him and I'll be there. All right.
I
All
will
right,
also
will
be
do.
there.
Okay, awesome. See you guys soon. Bye.
Leon, and as you said, dude, I try my best to try to be as, I guess, centrist or neutral as you can be. And I'm with you, Leon. Like, I can't say I hate all liberals because fuck, JK's a liberal and fuck, man, I'll support the shit she's done. She's done nothing but good with her money.
Bro,
Yeah,
but that's the other thing.
I agree.
That's the worst thing about all this
Mm.
is she spent all her money. She actually put her money where her mouth is.
Mm.
And it's this one thing
Mhm.
that she disagrees on. And it's something that she's advocated for women having their own spaces and everything.
Yeah.
And it's because of this trans, non-binary, queer ideology. People, and because that's the flavor of the month, everybody dropped her.
And she's getting death threats over this shit, Sam.
Yes, and
Death
Well,
threats.
so let's cut to JK Rowling talk because you guys are on to something that actually does lead into the next topic. So we got this right here. Announced about the Super Bowl. Pause this. We'll play this. Bad Bunny is a demonic Marxist who's been granted the largest stage with the greatest audience in the middle of a Christian revival. This is by design. We are in a spiritual war, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. And then let's play this video, then we'll give our take.
Fans are reporting that they felt a demonic presence when attending Bad Bunny's recent concert. Started to
Bad
make
Bunny.
videos saying that the concert just feels demonic, but it became extremely dark when this song Botanico came on, where there were masked demons dancing all over him, and the concert turned all
They
red.
felt
Even the
demonic
music
'cause they
video
wore
to this
skull
song
masks?
is extremely dark. It's this monster-looking thing that creeps up into this woman's room, and it actually ends up becoming Bad Bunny himself. Those who attended this concert are even advising people, if you're going to go see Bad Bunny's concert, then schedule your bathroom breaks whenever this song comes on. And at one point, those demons that were around him, you can't really see because the concert gets really dark, but they start grabbing and pulling on him like he's being
This just feels like
sacrificed or
TikTok
something. If you
sloth.
see my old
Yeah.
videos, you know that
Must
this
run
is
us.
no surprise because he's been showing this symbolism for quite some time now, and it was only a matter of time until this started happening in real life in concerts. You're looking at the man who had the second most streams in the world on Spotify in 2023.
All
I've
right,
never heard a single one of his shitty songs.
Nope.
No, I haven't.
So
Couldn't tell you.
all that bit, now that you've seen that shitty fucking TikTok, and you hear Josie, the redhead libertarian, who, by the way, I'm a fan of. I like her work. I won't lie. I want to hear what you guys think because I hard disagree with her here. I really do. I
think
disagree with her.
I think she sounds like a loon. I think she sounds like a loon most of the time because she's a libertarian and because she's a woman. Mostly because she's a libertarian.
She's redhead and probably still banger.
She actually.
Dude, she's fine. Absolutely.
There you
Yeah,
go.
no,
That's unrelated.
I'll be real, dude. I get the polarizing state that we're in currently. That being said, this is the same shit that was thrown at Ozzy Osbourne and Alice Cooper. And like, guys, it's performance art. It's not fucking real. I think jumping to the idea of like a dude that's surrounded by demons in his music video is now performing at the Super Bowl. Like, yeah, we've had rappers doing the Super Bowl for ages and they glorify gang violence and sex and whatnot. This is it's a performance art. I really think you jumping the gun on this one.
Yeah, these people are. It's all fucking theater. Remember Liam on Marilyn Manson probably before your time, but my dad would say, "Chris, you know what, man? Take away."
Fuck you. Of course I listen to people, motherfucker. Sorry, go on.
No, but Dad he's like, Chris, you know what, man? He's like, even my father would say, my dad grew up he was born in the 50s. He goes, Chris, Marilyn Manson, he goes, take away the whole like wearing fucking a woman's body stuff, outfit, and the fake titties. He goes, he's a fucking great performer. He's got some really good fucking music. And my father listened to Marilyn Manson. Dad was like in his 50s. And he goes, the guy's got a good rock band. He goes, the theater shit's weird. He goes, but take that away, man. His music is solid.
Yeah, again, I mean, I like Marilyn Manson. I've always liked Marilyn Manson. Again, I like Alice Cooper. I like Ozzy Osbourne. And here's the
there's been
dealio.
shock rockers since
I don't
Alice
see
Cooper.
anybody else. I think it's
we can see and hear you.
Okay, so yeah, it was just like not loading your guys' stuff. Yeah, I'm having some connection issues, so maybe I'll drop out again after this.
Yeah, no worries. Just let me know what you need to do. But yeah, go on, Sam. You talking about shock rockers?
Yeah, there's been shock rockers, like I said, since Alice Cooper. People didn't like that.
Just Iggy Pop, at least. I mean,
Iggy Pop. One of the biggest things of because Alice Cooper never did anything that was demonic. He just had some very dark.
But he was banned in multiple countries, multiple states, all for his decapitation act. And
But one of the main things was his father was a preacher, so obviously he was going against.
Yeah, Alex Cooper's a born again Christian.
Yep, so you have all these things. The main thing that I've taken away from all of this is just like when The Weeknd got the Super Bowl a couple years ago, which I still say is the worst Super Bowl halftime showing ever, because what he did was he started out on stage, and there was like a pit in front of him of people who paid, like, I don't know how much money you have to spend to be in like the pit at the halftime show, but The Weeknd went into like a house of mirrors that you could only see on television.
Yeah.
And these people spent thousands of dollars. Mostly what I think a lot of the problem is, I'm in my mid-30s. I can't name a Bad Bunny song.
I can't either. You want to know what I can tell you about Bad Bunny? I can tell you that he fought Damian Priest in WWE at one of the pay-per-views in 2023.
That's the only thing I can tell you. I know he was in like
I do know a Bad Bunny, a streamer called Bad Bunny. She's the one that had the $5 a month. $5. Yeah, that was
no. I keep mixing her. I keep mixing her up with bad Barbie.
Yeah,
Bad Bobby. Yeah, a lot of people are.
It is a pretty good clip.
Okay, but what I'm getting at is it's a bunch of confused old people who weren't gonna like the music anyway, going like, "Well, who is this? Who is this fella playing the halftime show? Why is it
no, he wasn't a wrestler, Vinkman. He was it was just some special promotional thing. He wrestled Damian Priest and he won, and because they're both from Puerto Rico, and it was supposed to be like some storyline thing, but he's not actually a wrestler. It was just like the same way that Donald Trump would get on stage to WWE back in the day, like just a celebrity promo thing. Sorry, go on, Sammy.
Okay, well, here's the real issue, and I think it's the iRock. Since iRock got that's Jay-Z's company, there hasn't been a white artist who has done the halftime show since his company has gotten done, and it has been exclusively this, when for the most part we have seen a collaboration of I think we all remember when Steven Tyler and like Britney Spears was singing with Beyonce, and it was like this big thing, and it was like this big huge thing of Americana. What they're trying to do now is like mainstream like hip hop, and say like hip hop is the only thing that people listen to, and that's not the case. That's never been the case, and there's people who are pushing back on it, and it's the same argument for everything. So now they're going like, well, you just don't like it because he's Puerto Rican, and was like, no, we don't like it because we don't know who the fuck he is.
Well, to me, just go for it, Ronis.
I don't have anything else to say. I was just looking.
Was it you, Blue, or?
No, I'm good. I'm just laughing.
I thought I heard someone else's. Okay, so
Leon's hearing ghosts in his head.
I can swear. Bad Bunny's in my ear, dude. The demons are getting me. But no, it's when Josie, and again, I do like I like a lot of her takes and whatnot. She's bait. I mean, to me, this is retarded. This is the epitome of like that 80s satanic panic bullshit. Like, you can't listen to Twisted Sister. You can't play Dungeons and Dragons. Like, again, for someone that's like Josie, the redhead libertarian, you want the right to win all these culture wars and cultural battles. This is how you lose ground. Just when everyone's starting to think like, oh man, these leftists are crazy. They killed Charlie Kirk. You gotta come out and say some dumb shit like this. Like, guys, it's just a fucking rapper doing the halftime show. She says here, it's not about who is already a fan of this dude. He came out of nowhere and doesn't sing in English. Guys, so did fucking Amadeus in the 80s. And so did, Taco.
Is there any Super Bowl singer that's ever spoke or sung only in like Spanish or whatever?
Did Shakira ever do Super Bowl?
No, Shakira definitely did a segment on the Super Bowl. But
Should have somebody else.
We're meant to be together.
No, maybe it was the Super Bowl. She did that this time for Africa for like some soccer event. So that's maybe she's in the Super Bowl as well. But it's about recruiting people away from the light and into the darkness at a consequential time. Keep your children away from it. Like, he didn't come out of nowhere. Like, here's what, for someone that's like so hip and whatnot with the algorithm and has almost 1 million followers, like, he didn't come out of nowhere. Like I said, he was the second most streamed individual 2023. He wrestled at a pay-per-view event with WWE. The thing is, music nowadays far more diverse than when people like us and her and whatnot were all growing up, and we really only had the radio and CDs and records and whatnot. Now, Spotify, dude, you got people listening to genres that sound like a fucking different language, but it is somehow English. I don't know, like, the idea that you don't know who this person is doesn't mean he came out of nowhere. It just means that music is far more diverse now, far more than it's ever been.
Definitely.
We've got millions, if not billions, of songs at our fingertips.
Yeah.
And if you already don't like hip hop or don't like rap or don't like foreign music, like, you're not gonna know who this is because it's just, you're not a fucking 14-year-old girl.
Okay,
when they try to incorporate everything, where they have like, well, here's where the country star comes out, and here's where the rap comes out, and here's when like the rock star comes out. Like, it looks like this like retarded thing. Like I said, like when Britney Spears was singing like with Steven Tyler, and then like Prince came out, like it all looks so insane that like nobody cares anyway. Guys, honestly, if you like the artist, watch him. If you don't, it's the halftime show. Get up, take a piss.
The 2020 Super Bowl is the one that had Shakira and Jennifer Lopez. They were the headliners.
Okay, I thought Shakira
and Bad Bunny and another like Mexican or some kind of Spanish rapper were there as well. So it's kind of like,
so this is even his first time performing at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, this will be at least his second. He may have been part of another one, like a side show, but this is like a Latin music Super Bowl show.
Yeah,
this is just some straight up dumb boomer shit, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I've never heard of him, but also he is a Latin rapper. He's only going to be popular in like South America, maybe Spain, somewhat. Only people actually speak Spanish.
Plus, he'll probably be dead soon anyway. So
no, but I also feel like when it's artists like that, that I don't necessarily recognize, most of them do like an overview of their track, like their biggest songs, right? They never just play like a full song. I'll go like, oh, he's the dude who does this little jaunty number right here. Okay, like I get it. I know that this is Bad Bunny now, because like now I'm hip. I can go to Miami. That's me, old white guy coping, going like, I now know who Bad Bunny is. Like I don't care.
I guess the point of this segment before we move on to our final one is guys, when you see dumb shit like this, call it out, because this is a fast track to losing the culture war that we have gained so much ground in.
Send it to Leon too.
That too. All right, final segment, and then we're gonna raid into Nick.
Oh no!
Oh, come on,
we gotta do it, boys. We gotta do it.
Hold on.
There you go. There you go. You're gonna need that.
Thank you.
I want. We're gonna let this play out. It's only about 30 seconds long, and I want you guys to tell me if you believe it.
Long I ever lasted.
I missed the social Hassan era. There is unfortunately an obvious setback there because of, one, all the political incidents that have taken place, and two, how those political incidents have had some pretty significant consequences in how much I can go out in the real world and socialize with other people. As I said already, I'm not going to TwitchCon, not because I'm worried about my own safety, but I'm literally not going to TwitchCon because I'm worried about the safety of others. I don't want to put them in the fucking crosshairs if some psycho freak decides like, I'm going to go there. I'm very publicly not going to TwitchCon for that reason. So make with that information, do with that information what you will. I missed this.
Anyone believe it for a
shocking.
moment that's why he's not going to TwitchCon?
I'm so sad.
He's
right
just
now,
a
Leon.
lazy faggot.
Hassan's not going to TwitchCon. However, why just my life's going to be over.
Like he just doesn't want to do anything. Like he rakes in the money by turning on his camera and browsing the internet all day. That's all he does.
I think I think you're wrong. I think Bobby's got it. He's not doing it for other. He's terrified. He's terrified. He's gonna get his fucking ass beat or like go for
on
it.
his DMs on anything that he writes now. I was like, hey, that's a great point. You should speak that out on a college campus. It was like, even now I'm gonna go like, oh, Hassan not speaking at TwitchCon. No one's tracking him or anything. No, nothing bad would ever happen to him. But like, if it did, it wouldn't be at TwitchCon because he's not going.
Yeah, I mean, it's internet YouTube. You can't publicly threaten somebody. I do say though, for certain people, I've been to prison and I have no problem going back for an assault charge in case I've seen somebody in public and knock them the fuck out.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because like his whole, even if it wasn't, that he was afraid, which again, I believe he is. I believe he's not going to TwitchCon because he's a selfish prick who is afraid because all commies are selfish. But even if that wasn't the case, this is a way of trying to perpetuate that it is the right wing causing all the violence. Like he doesn't have to say, if he just says, I'm afraid that, my fans, the people who come to see me, could get hurt if someone comes to take me out, insinuating that the right has been doing that when give me an example of that.
And it's really funny because they just arrested a guy who is going to be shooting up some Antifa people or whatever as like revenge. Apparently they found this guy, but they haven't arrested a bunch. They haven't arrested many Antifa people, have they? Like
this guy has been on the ground at different protests where violent protests, fiery but mostly peaceful protests where he's there in the back. Obviously he's not going to firebomb a car, but like after they do, they run up to him and they go like, hey man, big follower. He's like, yeah, I bet you are.
Taking fucking selfies and
he has the audacity. My favorite clip of him is when he's on that gay guy's stream and they're talking about what their favorite flag is.
The flag, the Hezbollah flag.
Yeah. And then they're like, Hassan, like, he's like, no, it's cool. It's behind the paywall. Because he's got the gun with the AK-47. And this man is a terrorist supporter. This man should be treated like a terrorist.
He should be denaturalized and deported immediately. He has no business being in our country.
No ifs, ands, or buts. This person wants the end of the American experiment.
Also, I do say denaturalized because his parents aren't citizens. They weren't.
No, they aren't
when he was born. Yeah.
By the way, his parents, his dad is like a fucking billionaire. By the way,
I don't think he was a billionaire. He's just part of a big political party.
Yeah,
he's a billionaire.
His dad is
running that political party.
I don't know about billionaire, but certainly millionaire. His dad is a
he's pretty well off. He's
Turkish
well
media
off.
mogul. He's a media mogul.
He's absolutely.
And then his uncle, who gets just fucking dunked on all the time. I was like, I think it was what's his name, Matt. Am I racist? Matt Walsh.
Oh, Matt Walsh, yeah.
I mean, Sink Uyghur's been interacting with plenty people on like
but like the other day about they were talking about obviously what happened to Charlie Kirk, and he was like, you perpetuate this rhetoric, and he was like, not. And then all of a sudden he started playing the receipts live and going like, hell,
no, that was oh my god, I'm blanking on his name. The gay dude that used to work for Young Turks.
Oh, Mark Rubin or Rubin something Rubin.
Yeah, the Rubin Report guy. I'm blanking on his first name.
Yeah, you're right.
Dave Rubin.
Dave Rubin Dave Rubin just started playing these things. Just, that's out of context. It was like, oh yeah, it really sucks when you play things out of context. It's almost like that's disingenuous, and you shouldn't say that. And Shank went to his regular thing, same thing Hassan does, is name call and scream until you're so exasperated you don't want to talk anymore. The fact that these people follow Hassan Piker,
but I just want to point out
really
bitch man he was. I will like we're way over time. We've got to get to Nick's stream. So we're gonna hit these last supers. We're gonna do some outros, and we're gonna raid Nick. So stick around. Girthy Banana for a 2-banger. When gate flags fly over Saudi, I'll be worried then. Agreed. I don't think it'll happen, but agreed. Girthy Banana for another 2-banger. She put herself in that situation. Stand on business. Oh, I hope she does. I hope Emma stands on business. And last but not least, Sick Inside says Mechanical Animals is an amazing album. Was that 2005, 3, somewhere around there? Is that Marilyn Manson's 2003
right.
album?
I forgot.
If it's the album, I think it is. Yes, I agree with you. I'm pretty sure this is like 03, 05, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Let's give you guys a clip and let's get out of here. And you know what? Since we're all about to go see Cindy on Nick's show, we'll end with a Cindy clip.
I know now that it could never work between us. Not because you're a rabbit, but because you're black.
Wait, is this what you're playing?
All right. So, Ryan, tell people what you got coming up, brother.
The clip didn't play for me at all.
It didn't play for you?
It didn't play for me, and it didn't mute my mic because basically the connection was so bad, it didn't load the video from my side.
I assure you it was racist.
So for some reason, my internet's like really bad right now. I have no idea why that is. But on Sundays, I'm going to be streaming regularly now, each week, 4 p.m. Pacific and 7 Eastern. Gonna be talking about anime about half the time, playing video games the other half. Probably gonna be going through like generally survival horror games because I want to play through like Resident Evil. I'm not gonna do Resident Evil 7, but I'll play some other ones on stream, I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sammy, what you got coming up, brother?
Nothing. I'm gonna be on Nick's show, but I have to pee in between that, so I gotta go.
Sounds good. We'll see you over there, brother. Blue, what about you, my man?
So to Sammy, Leon, me and Sammy watched War of the Worlds, and I got the video almost done, so I'll probably in a couple of days. And Nadia wants to talk about this new horror film with the dog. So yeah,
Good Boy comes out Thursday.
Yeah, so I'll talk about it with you, and I'm always hanging with you and Nick and Serranos, and I'm everywhere. So.
You'll love to see it, guys. Make sure you follow and sub to all these dudes out there. It'd be truly incredible. As for me, first of all, I want to thank you all for your generosity. Today's been great. I love hanging out with you. You never need to, but your donations, they help. They keep the show going, the whole line. So it means the world to me. You do this. Thank you so much. For those of you that just don't have to, or frankly don't want to, or whatnot, that's a-okay as well. I appreciate what you're saying in the comments. We try to read as many as we can, even if we don't comment on them. I dropped a video today about the tourist problem in anime and analyzing it even further and talking about it even further. Check that out. Video's doing pretty well. Fingers crossed. Keep it up. You'll love to see it. So yeah, watch that. We're going to raid into Nick right now. So after the credits are over, it'll take you right to his stream. Type in Vital Idol Raid. And I'll see y'all over there in about 5 minutes. But until next time, it's all here in the Nerdosphere. And this has been Words of Paradise.